The Barnett Beat Cancer's Ass tournament coming up June 8th. Bam Arena. Be there or be square.
Bam.
Bam. Out here in Strongsville, Ohio. Come support a great cause at a good venue with good people. Again, just come out. June 8th. Nothing else going on. Might as well. It's a good cause. Get after it. Without further ado, let's kick it off, Sean.
Let's do
An
it.
homage to someone that we're going to be seeing very soon.
Mhm.
And I'm very excited. Mr. Daniel Lambert.
Hell yeah.
Draggin Bags. All right. We'll be missing Maddie King, I believe, unless he's making a trip out.
Listen.
But Draggin Bags has brought us in under their wing, and we very much appreciate it.
I liked your little wing.
Right? The wing.
Nice.
Kick and wang. But yeah, Draggin Bags, man. Love throwing them. You will too. So why don't you join us? I mean, it's literally made us better players. So if you want to become a better player, it's just science and throw Draggin Bags. Because dragons make you good at throwing things. I don't know if you've ever read that in science books, but it's in there. Just read the fine print. So head over to dragonbags.com, drop code BIGASP12 at checkout, and save yourself some money on some heat today.
Cornhole it. Big ass cornhole. We hope you throw it straight. And nothing but four-baggers from here on out.
All right, welcome back to yet another episode of the Big Asp Cornhole podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. What's going on, man?
Just disappointed, man.
Yeah,
Someday.
Listen, I'm gonna when you're not expecting it.
Well, when I'm not expecting it, I won't have the perfect ready for you to punch out to our song. All right.
Dane
I know it
gets very
sounds
disappointed,
confusing,
yeah,
but yeah, it's just our own antics while our music's playing, and Sean never partakes with me.
Sorry.
Someday.
All right. Well, we have quite an episode planned for you all.
I mean, we got Sean, I don't know if you know this, but there's a national this weekend.
there is a national.
There
this
is.
weekend.
So
it's gonna be busy.
we have things to talk about, but we also have our own trip that we're getting ready for that we're
Correct.
very excited about. So.
So before we get into anything else, Dane, do what you do best every single week. Let the folks know what we're sipping on tonight in our favorite segment called "What You Drinking."
What you drinking?
Clown shoes.
Dude, first of all, the can is banging.
The can is
The artwork is awesome.
fantastic. But found me some clown shoes. Hazy, Juicy, Ziggy, Cryo, Hoptimo Double IPA. It comes in a pounder can, 9.5%.
Not fucking around, as they would say.
Exactly. So this is one that I need to definitely bring out on a golf course. I think it's
Oh, really?
yeah, one that like slaps you at a really good time.
Okay.
No, but you only need like one or two of
Interesting that
them.
you brought that up because, like, I very much like with today being 70, 80 degrees out.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like Miller Lite season, I feel like. But is it too early?
But again, like I will take this because I need two of these for a sixer of Miller Lite. And I don't know, when I'm golfing, it's easy sipping. Like most of the time you're not in the cart, so you need something that like will smack you a little faster. Plus, not to mention nature's toilet. Some of these courses nowadays, man, there's no trees around.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what are you supposed to do? Good Lord.
Amen.
I kneel a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's our what you drinking, clown shoes.
Thanks,
Nailed it with the longest beer name ever, but I respect it.
Thanks. Well, folks, we have more audio gold planned for you all today. National number 2, Cornhole Mania. It's underway this week, kicking off in Denver, Colorado.
It's a terrible name.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. So we're going to break that down. Prior to the event happening, the doubles brackets are out. So we're going to touch on the doubles brackets. The plan is to draft. We're recording this the night before. Hopefully tomorrow we have 2 individuals.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we always do a draft. It might just be me versus Dane.
We like
Don't
to
even
shoot
know.
from the hip. We'll
But
figure it out.
yeah, I know CornDoug might even be available too. We might have him hop on again. But we're going to have 2 people
Bring
do
it
a draft
back.
with us again. We're going to continue bag reviews next week. We don't have any bag reviews. We have dramatic readings. And then the end of this,
reading.
reading. The most dramatic of reading.
Yes.
Right. And then we're going to end the episode with an interview with Mr. K9, Wally Kassler, and Hunter Thorne. ACL
Hunter
Pro.
Thorne.
Hunter Thorne. Yes. All right. But before we get to all that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our Cornhole Live in a segment called In and Around the Hole.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Brought to you by Black Sheep Baggers. If you're in the market for a new set of bags, you got to check out Black Sheep Baggers. They have a bag for just about everyone. If you like your bags, a slightly smaller template, all right, little fuller. That's kind of the specialty that Black Sheep Baggers has found. But their newest bag coming out, they're just freaking bangers, man. Just hybrid carpet, little bit bigger template, changing it up. So there really is something for everyone that you can find on there. Go to blacksheepbaggers.com, use code Big Asp, and you're going to save yourself some money.
So I like to think that maybe they don't have a bag for everyone, but they have a bag for you because you're a black sheep.
Man, that's why they pay us.
Damn straight.
That was beautiful.
Right?
All right. Blacksheepbaggers.com. Again, code Big Asp is going to save you some money. All right, man. So this weekend was probably some of the nicest weather I can remember having Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
In April.
In April, man.
So, Sean, we were actually planning on not being here this weekend. We were going to
Okay.
go to the lake house.
Okay.
It shit rained the entire time in Chautauqua.
Oh, did it really?
The whole freaking week, yeah. Like, we thought it was only going to be Saturday, and then,
Okay.
like, thank God we didn't go. Because, like, we looked at the weather, and, like, yes, it was nice here. It was
Dude.
not nice there, which is usually a rarity. Usually it's flip-flopped. So, I very much enjoyed it.
It threw me off so bad, and I didn't realize it until I was halfway done cutting my front yard.
Yeah.
I'm like going through. I'm like, dude, it's not even May yet, and I have everything done for like our yard. Like we spent all day Saturday. Like
It's a nice feeling, though.
6:45. Right, my wife comes back with the first load of mulch in her car. We ripped through 60 bags of mulch. It took pretty much all day Saturday, just weeding and just making it look nice. And like it didn't even dawn on me that like, holy shit, we normally don't do this shit till May or June. Like it is April, but it was beautiful weather. It was like 75 degrees, partly sunny. Today got up to in the 80s. It was perfect. Today took the kids to the zoo.
The zoo.
Always a good time. I was a little sore. Your boy. I
Yeah,
was feeling a little
had
bit,
some
but
yard work.
it felt good to get the blood flow going through the legs a little bit. But goddamn, I was so fucking tired, so tired.
I mean, I did my yard work last weekend when it was freezing cold. At least the yard part of it.
Okay.
As far as the mulch and stuff, that'll be probably next weekend after we're back. But I got out and golfed.
Or did you? Okay.
I played.
Oh yeah, that's right. Friday.
Yeah, me and the Pops kicked off our league, playing at Seneca.
Now, have you played there before?
Dude, I haven't played there in years.
I'm trying to remember when the last time I played. I feel like I've played there once or twice, but
The
it's been
one
a long
thing I
time.
remembered was like how long the course was.
Okay.
Then I get out there. Jesus, dude, it is a beast.
Now,
man.
where does Dad have to play from the same tees?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's at the same tees as us. They only have 3 tees there, so we play from the middles.
Okay.
The average par 4 was 410.
Okay, so he struggled a little bit. Well, no, because Dad hits his 3-wood really
Dude,
well.
I'm telling you, he played as well as he could. Like
Okay.
for that, again, there's 4 9s there.
No, is this like first few rounds? Was it like handicapping? for you
Yeah.
guys
So
before?
like,
Okay.
all right, so it's handicapped. We both literally put our spots in at +8 because we
Okay.
both shot 44s the round before that
Okay.
when it was freezing cold. So we're like, that sounds about right. And then it's best ball between you and your partner
Okay.
against another duo.
Okay.
So we ended up tying the guys that we faced.
Okay.
One was a 12, the other guy was a 6.
Okay. Okay.
Dan and I
so
were both 8s.
balanced out a little bit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
To me, it was exactly the same. I'm like, all right, like we rated ourselves at the right spot.
Did you like getting into like competitive golf for the first time in your life?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I know it's a league, right? But like, it's a different feel, right?
So I will tell you, between Dad and I, we didn't have a single like horrible mishit.
Would you guys like help each other read the greens and stuff? Like, were you playing it as like a team, or did you like, hey, you do you, I'll do me?
We were kind of just like, again, I think we were both just trying to get our rounds in order.
Okay.
Dad was able to get there early, so we got to hit the greens and stuff. I was actually fairly dialed with the driver and irons.
Okay.
the green speeds were messing with me. I 3-putted like 4 of the 9 holes.
You
Like,
cleaned
it was
that up.
not,
Okay.
yeah, it was not good. It's the only reason that I shot the 46 that I did.
I got you.
But yeah, it was just, I don't know, one of those that you get fresh off work. It was like one of my first times like doing that ever.
Antsy and yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, man, like the first tee, I ripped a nice drive, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Put a good iron shot on it. Like I was just on the fringe. My first putt rolled 12 feet past the hole.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That's
and I'm
not
like,
a great confidence. Yeah, on the first green, I get that.
And
then the
we
whole-
just came off like playing a very slow course.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I thought I breathed on this putt, and it was like, like not even a chance. So yeah, I mean that's where it started. But now that I know, I think I'll progressively get much better at the course. But again, dude, these are long freaking holes, and their bunker placements are
Diabolical.
right where we
Yeah.
would fucking drop our ball. Like it is so perfectly placed. I'm like, you guys designed this course to fuck up like the average golfer. Yeah, that 9 that we played, it was 3 par 5s, 1 par 3.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's tough.
And the average par 5 length was 535.
Okay, so like a 46 is not bad at all then.
No, again,
Okay,
like
yeah,
this
yeah,
was one of
okay.
the longest courses I'd ever played in my life. So like now I know, like I need to maybe be smarter on some of my approaches, because there are some like real hard dog legs and shit that
Okay.
like you just need to make it to the bend, and even if it's a par 4, play it out as a par 5. Like
Yeah.
you just need to trust
I get that.
rather than trying to hook in a 3-wood
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
from like 280. Like just go 4-iron, then have a pitching wedge in or something.
yeah.
Like just simplify it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it was fun. Like I don't know. Never done like actual competitive golf besides like
Like scramble
the scramble
tournaments and stuff.
tournament. Yeah, and we've always done well in those.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, there's a little pressure there, and I feel like I always do decent at them. This was different though, because like again, we play it as it lies. There's
get
no
that.
like little like
Yeah.
foot wedge.
Yeah,
So, like,
no roll.
you know,
over,
like
yeah.
this tree's a little in my way. I'm just gonna nudge it out. Like no, like this was like you do not touch your ball and you play it like so. Yeah, I mean it was just different.
The tournament style. That's cool. We did get to throw. So we had
did.
you and your wife Amy, and then mom and dad over for dinner tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was like 80 degrees out. So after dinner,
Food was
Convi-
delish. Thank you.
no problem, man. Convinced the kids to go outside to play, and so they were off doing their thing. So obviously, we're gonna bust out the boards.
Of course.
We had some new bags to review coming up, so we wanted to test them out. I know I hadn't given you an opportunity to get the bags yet.
Yeah.
So
It's nice
had
to throw them though.
3 new series from Swag.
Yeah.
And we were throwing the new WTF bag, which is just the design. So it makes
It
me
is one of the sexiest
giggle.
bag designs I've ever seen.
But yeah, just got to play. We played a match. Again, I'm just out of practice. Had some good rounds I could lock in, then other rounds I would just find myself getting distracted by stuff. And
Yeah, and honestly,
but it felt
like,
good to throw.
I mean, I know like I ended up edging you out on that round, but like it was all just. It's so hard to play in your wind tunnel sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
It is difficult. Like the wind changes every time you're throwing. It's insane. Throwing through there.
I get frustrated because I was up big again, and I struggle closing stuff out.
I mean, I did like channel my inner Jeremiah Ellis.
I mean,
and,
I would-
like, you know,
What was the score? It was 19-6. Was it 19-6?
19-4.
19-4.
Yeah.
And I ended up losing.
Yeah.
21-19. So thanks.
No,
for
it was 20. You got it to 20.
Oh,
It was
oh,
20s.
thanks. Yeah.
We tied it at 20s.
Thanks for that.
And then that last round, I didn't put a single bag in the hole. I just locked it all up, and one of yours just chotched off the side.
Yeah, just
Say la vie.
yeah. And
It
again,
was an ugly finish.
my boards were, so you don't see this very often anymore, but my boards are fast enough that if you miss a bag short, slick side down, it's coming off the board.
It was very strange though, because like the hybrid carpet was holding up okay.
Yeah.
I felt like that was a very true
Played a
5.
great sport. Yes, correct.
But then as soon as you went on the slick side, good night.
Yeah.
I mean, like an 8 was playing like a 12. It was insane.
Yeah.
Like those slick sides were definitely way different. And I mean, it's just I don't really know how to peg it, because like those boards have a different finish than we normally see around.
They're the original, one of the original sport sponsor of the show.
Yeah.
Colorado Cornhole Connection. So shout out to Don Newvonner. I don't know if you still listen to the show or not, but still, I love the fucking
Dude,
boards.
Beautiful boards, and they still play amazing.
Oh God, they're 4.5 years old.
Yeah,
and
they
still
look incredible.
I mean, I take care of the boards. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, like, but they still play how they did day one. It's
100%.
fantastic. But again, if you know the speed of the board, it's easier to like rate speed and stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah.
We have a trip coming up.
Do we?
By the time you're
What?
listening to this, like I am going to be like just in a frenzy.
It's like a kid before Christmas, like can't sleep.
Friday
kinda
morning,
angst.
5:15 a.m. Me, Dane, and Papa Big Asp are all heading out to Arizona, to Phoenix area.
Dude, I'm so glad that he's joining us.
Oh yeah, man!
Like it's gonna
It's
be
a
fun,
true
man.
guys weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So we are golfing Friday and Saturday, and then the rest of the time when we're not golfing, we're gonna be checking out whole 9 yards.
I mean, we might golf Sunday. Just saying,
we'll see. Yeah.
we're gonna be out there. Might
Yeah.
as well. Like,
So I'm super excited to go. I am pretty concerned about my wrist right now. It's better than what it was, so I'm hopeful that another 5 days from now it'll be even better. But I have purposely not touched a golf club. But doing some yard work, holding the rake and stuff like that, I just feel it lighting up again. I'm like, fucking goddamn! Like, if it was one round of 18, I'm suck it up, buddy, Buttercup. You're gonna make it through.
Yeah.
It's that next day, and if we try to play another day, like, goddamn it, man! Like, I just want to hold. I'm been
okay,
so,
you don't have to play the next day. Me and Dad can go with
No, fuck that. I've been so excited for this trip that I'm like, why did this have to happen like 2 weeks before I was leaving? So
I think just get on a steady regimen of some anti-inflammatories
I am,
and just keep working out. I think it'll be all right.
I'm hoping.
Again, you're not gonna have tree roots when we're playing. All right, these are gonna be pure.
Yeah,
we can just scramble it out.
Well,
Gives a shit.
honestly, I might need to just
Yeah,
because
we
like
can just
if
around.
it
We're
starts
out there
to
to
bother me,
enjoy
I might
ourselves.
not
Who
try to
cares?
take like a shot that like a long iron. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I might
It's
just
like
have to.
just
Like,
one of those, and plus you're probably going to be trying to do a different little variation of your swing without as much wrist, I would assume.
correct. I am.
So maybe we just
it's going to be a complete swing change.
just tell them like, hey,
Again.
it's time. We're all just gonna sit
Yeah,
here.
I just want to go and experience the course. I want to go have a good time. I want to
crush beer.
crush beers,
Yes.
and go out there. So
Yeah.
we already had Dane. You had the talk with Dad.
Yes.
being like, listen, do not.
Yeah, I told
try to
him
keep
like,
up with
do
us.
not. Yeah, like it's gonna be an all day affair. Like we're used to doing this kind of stuff. Like please do not think you have to go beer for beer. By all means, get a little tipsy. Like Dad's always a blast when he's a little tipsy.
we're going
Like,
to.
always very funny. So like I'm down with that. But
We're
like,
going to.
do not feel the need like if we're letting one rip while we're just chilling that you need to have one too.
Correct.
That's where they'll get you.
Correct. So before we get into like all the ACL stuff going on in our prep for this episode, we started looking at some of the standings of how everything was. And when we started looking at the standings, we started noticing like something that I don't know if I just missed or if we just missed.
Dude,
If this was like
threw me through a loop.
well known throughout, but like I was not aware that pro shootouts and your finish actually mattered this year, because this year, depending on where you finish in a pro shootout, it directly affects, you get points.
Yeah.
And we clarified this. We actually did an interview with Adam Hissner and his wife, Jennifer Hissner. It's a Patreon bonus episode. So if you are not a member of Patreon, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but if you're one of the Patreon members, you get to see that. But we talked about this a lot with Adam, and apparently the pro players did have an understanding that pro shootouts did matter in terms of seeding and overall standings for this year.
Mhm.
Last year, it was strictly determined, and how every year before this, it was always determined how you did at nationals, right? You would have your top 3 national performances out of the first 4, and then that would give us the final seeding going into the World Championship.
Yeah.
That's still the case, but now you're also factoring in how you did in pro shootouts. I don't know about you, but I have a huge problem with that, because like round limited stuff is a very different game, and I just don't agree with the fact that we're taking away. So perfect example, right? So Jeremiah Ellis is a hard one, right? So he wins
Yeah.
national singles, takes second in the shootout. We get it. But a guy like Eric Davis, who he made it to the final 4 in the pro shootout. Awesome. Like we know in round limited stuff, he shines.
Yeah.
That he takes third in his bracket, maybe fourth in his bracket, but he's the third overall player right now.
Yeah.
He had a very good weekend, but is he the third overall player? What about Gavin Cano, who's ranked 9th? The dude just lost in the fucking semifinals.
Yeah, I mean,
the only tournament that truly matters, if we're being honest with ourselves, that should matter. The round to 21, now round limited bullshit, but straight to 21, and he's ranked 9th. Like, what are we doing here? How heavily weighted is the pro shootout? So to me, it seems like it's too weighted. It's weighted way too much.
Now, from what we learned though, is that they're only taking their top 4 or their top performance.
Yes.
In all of the shootouts.
Correct. So at the end of the day, do better than the last time, you get more points.
The Nationals will end up outweighing it.
So like Ian Cripps already has that top amount right
there. It does you no favors moving into the second National, though, unless you performed well at the shootout. Now, if you didn't, you're screwed right now. Mark Richards is 81st or something right now?
Yeah.
Mark Richards.
We were trying to figure out why the doubles brackets were out, but the singles brackets were out. So I reached out to Wally. Wally's like, oh, it's like, well, they have to finish the other tournaments for. I'm like, why? And that's when we're like, oh shit, like that actually matters. Yeah. So they're actually doing the singles pro shootout before the bracket comes out, because that's going to actually then determine the seedings for the 4 brackets in nationals.
So pretty much the only one it doesn't affect, probably
Cripps
and ELLIS.
Probably,
I feel like they're still locked in, but everyone else, like it could change. You don't know.
And I know that like as a pro, like you still have to participate in this, like in the pro shootouts and stuff. But it was always seen, like, to me, the pro shootouts were always marketed as like a bonus opportunity for pros to then potentially make more money.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And now all of a sudden, now you're telling us that like, no, like they matter, and they don't just matter a little bit, but especially early on in the season, it matters a lot. We've seen it before. They've done they went away from the random draw stuff because every year inevitably someone would get a really tough draw and then it's a tough sledding. Well, right now, if you start off and you had a terrible showing in pro shootouts and an okay showing in nationals, your seed's going to be really low, and you're still going to get fucked going into national too.
Yeah.
So it just puts so much pressure on people to then perform well in the pro shootout stuff.
I just want to point out the weight that we're seeing here. So Jeremiah Ellis, number 1, 830 points.
Currently in first place at 830 points.
He took second in the shootout.
And first in
the first national. Yes. Ian Cripps is only 40 points behind him. 38 points.
38 points.
At 792. And he won the shootout. What did he do in singles? Ninth in his bracket,
I think it was, maybe.
So that's how heavily it's weighted for this first national.
Let me see. I'll pull this up exactly. But again, like Eric Davis is there. Alex Rawls had apparently a very solid weekend.
Yeah.
But like he didn't win his bracket in the national. Like to me, it's asinine to have somebody considered third overall when they didn't win their bracket in the first national.
I agree.
Just because like you did pretty well in national and in the pro shootout, it just seems very weird to me to have it weighted almost identical.
Well, to me, like it means that power rankings don't mean shit until you get towards the world championships. Yeah. Because that's when all the weight's going to kind of even itself out. But yeah, it's very, very, it's just weird. I don't know. Wasn't expecting it once we started seeing these names pop up.
I'm sorry, he took 8th in his bracket.
All right, 8th in his bracket.
But still, I mean, that's a great point.
Again,
8th in his bracket in singles, but then he won the pro shootout and he's second overall? Like that just it really doesn't make any sense to me.
And again, 38 points behind Jeremiah Ellis, who put together one of the greatest singles weekends we've seen to date.
Yeah, I can't, yeah.
Just weird. It's weird.
It just doesn't make sense to me that they're weighted how they are. If you want to include the pro shootout, that's fine, but it seems to me like it should be a significantly less amount of points that you're getting.
So I'm sure that they have some kind of formula where they're like, okay, at the end, like the weight of this won't be as heavy because you're going to have 3 nationals over top of one shootout. But
that's what my point is.
What they need to do is progressively weight this. Ian Cripps gets the win. That means each national moving forward for the shootout, he should just accrue that X amount of win points up until the total.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Rather than, right? You know what I'm saying? So instead of him like getting this lump sum right off the rip, he should technically be like a 40th ranked player after his singles performance too, or not even that, probably 20s since he won it. But like, still, it needs to progressively climb him up, not start him off right there, because like you said, a national is a completely different beast.
And
Playing
again,
at 21 is a much different game.
if we're doing we're talking about standings, right? And obviously we don't want standings in like a power ranking to be like mirror images, right?
Yes.
Like, cause that would be like, oh, well then it just depends on how they play. Like, we're taking other things in factor. And I do weight the performance in pro shootout a little bit, but it's a very small amount. Like, you have to be just an absolute motherfucker in that to
For
really to make it count.
It's the only reason why we still say Eric Davis's name
right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, he had a very good showing in National One in his bracket, but he didn't win his
previous
bracket.
seasons. The only reason we brought him up was because of his shootout performances.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, again, you hit it perfectly. As the season progresses and you have more nationals, it is going to wait out.
Yeah.
But early in the year,
It
we've seen how
screws
important
people.
it is
Yeah.
to get off to a fast start.
Yeah.
Because if you have a low seed going into the second one, it's just a tough hill to climb, man. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be on your A game right from the rip, because you're going to
No,
have
if you want to use the
three
seeding
straight killers.
from like the pro shootout and then carried over into the second one, and that's how you're doing the seeding based on your finish before, I'm fine with that. But it should be separate. Like the actual national pool, bringing in a completely different, if we're all calling it all together, a completely different game this round limit is compared to 21. I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's very confusing. To the best of my knowledge, I've not seen, or I did not know what the system is for points.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever been really talked about.
Why can't they have just different rankings? Like, here's your national ranking,
That's what I'm saying.
here's your shootout ranking, and have the ranking weighted towards like requalifications and shit. Just leave them completely separate. You can't have them all lumped in together, because again, I know like the shootouts probably, it's more money that ACL sees just because of,
if I was doing,
being on
let's say
ESPN
this
and
was my
stuff, but-
full-time job,
yeah.
right? I got my wish. This is the podcast, my full-time job. I could figure out what the point system was and the weighting system.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that much time in it.
That's a
It
lot
should
of
be
time.
easier to find, man.
Exactly.
It shouldn't have been such a surprise to somebody like us. And again, if we're this surprised, there's no way everyone else knew about this
100%.
or understood the weight that would have, at least going into national number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, national number 2, again, as you have more numbers, it's going to be a little bit more accurate. But again, it's somebody that does really well in a pro shootout round limited, because what is that always rewarded? Why did they start doing round limited for pro shootout in the first place? Because it really gave everyone a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Every pro shootout, we saw one guy that like was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, for sure.
Now you're adding that into like the pros. It seems very odd to me.
It does. And it's like, are they trying to make that the model?
I hope not.
I hope
because
not,
round
too.
limited is not it.
It's not
just
it.
not it. I don't care. It's just not it.
It's not a showcase
We
of the
talked
best of
about with
cornhole.
Adam on his match, right?
Yeah.
He even mentioned it. If his match against Jeremiah Ellis in the singles, which was a match 221, if that was a round limited game, he was down 19-6 after like 8 rounds. He's like, I'm done. I'm over.
Yeah.
He came back and almost won that match.
Would have lost all the luster of that entire game
That's what I'm saying.
because it's round limited.
It's a completely different match. I mean, some people are slow starters.
Yes.
But then once they lock in, then you're kind of
Good
screwed.
night. Yeah, 100%.
So it just doesn't seem like it's a great way to figure it out starting. But again, if that was going to be the case, that's fine. But I just feel like it should have been out there a little bit more.
I just don't. Part of my issue is you have your pro shootout, you have your nationals. Those brackets are different.
Yes.
Why is the pro shootout numbers, like rankings, affecting what the brackets have on the national side of it?
Yeah.
They should have just stuck with whatever you finish for the national. That's going to be the bracket for the nationals, and the shootout brackets will be an entirely separate.
That's what I'm
thing.
saying.
Like, again, even if the points crossed over, it is what it is. Because again, we know that they'll wait
I hear
at
what
the
you're
end. But now you have all these killers that are just like stuck because they didn't have a good shootout performance. And it's weird. I mean, this top 10, I mean, Sean, we don't have household names in there like we're used to seeing.
No,
Now,
it
there's
is
still some great throwers. Don't
Oh,
get
yeah.
me wrong. Like it's still very, very good, indicative of the great talent we have in the sport.
But again, Braden Wilson did pretty well last time I checked. Won his bracket, tied third overall, and he's 7th.
yeah,
Gavin Cano took 2nd. He's 9th.
9th.
You know what I mean? Like it's very interesting. But I guess now that they know going into it, they're going to put more effort, I guess, in this pro shootout stuff. But it's odd. I'm not a huge fan of it right now.
Yeah, again, it feels really strange going into national number 2 how weighted
I agree.
it's going to affect those brackets.
And hopefully, so this is Sunday night. We're talking about this right now. I do have a message out to some people. If I do get an answer beforehand, we'll talk about it right after.
Yeah, we'll
in
bring
our
it
next
back up,
segment kind of
for
thing. So I think this is like the perfect time to kind of transition over that. So coming up next, if there is any update, we'll talk about that update. But then we're going to go ahead and draft the teams. We're going to do a dramatic reading, and then we'll have the interview with Wally and Hunter.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah. All right. We'll be back in just a second. Hey guys, we're back. And it's not just Dane.
What?
It's not just us. Okay. We are, as we've done for the last few years, pre-national, every national, we do a draft. All right. And we like to draft with friends. All right. So joining us today, Mr. Davin and CornDoug making a return. What's going on, guys?
How's it going, eh?
Hello, how's it going?
It's going. So
I
are
love
we?
how Canadian CornDoug is.
Oh,
just
just-
you got to throw in the A in there. I
Okay.
love it.
I do have to
People
give
don't forget.
I do have to give credit to CornDoug right now. His background is
yeah.
like mighty professional.
Menacing.
Like just
Little-
ridiculous. And you were positioned yourself so well with the eyes like right over your shoulder. Pretty intimidating, not gonna lie.
Well, it's the other podcast I do, right? So it's
I give it a plug. What's it called?
Shameless plug.
Nas Canucks on YouTube.
Look at
We'll be
you.
making a comeback in the next couple weeks. Be a little bit of a time off, and we'll be back soon.
So I see the 24 there. Is that the man?
Is that Gordon, right?
I'm not a fan, but the one guy that ran our NASCAR camp was a big Gordon fan. He passed away last year, so a little ode to him for when we do the show.
That's fair enough. I get that.
I mean, honestly, I can fully say he's the only reason I know what NASCAR is. It's Jeff Gordon. Growing up.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
Jimmy
heyday.
Johnson a little bit too. In the heyday of
coach?
Sports Center, by the way, back in the day. All right, so we have the draft. We're doing the same format that we typically do, but if you're new to the show, we each are going to draft 6 single players and then 6 doubles teams. We're not including pro shootout finishes. This is just national singles and doubles, both 21 format. All right, so I think that's important to clarify now, especially after how we started the episode about the point system. This contest has always been just based off the 21 format.
Yes.
I tallied up the total today while at work. I remain undefeated.
How convenient.
So throw out the
For the
little
record,
applause.
No need to go any further than that. That's you can have you undefeated.
It was close.
No need to talk
Doug,
about
Dane
it.
I never get to see the tallies. He just tells me numbers.
I will show you we can do it right now. We can do it live. We can take an hour right now.
It's all right.
I could go over all of it.
Just know people don't forget, Sean.
No need.
It's gonna make my
You just
victory
gotta
in
share a
this one
screenshot online so it's true.
that much better.
So what I think we're going to try to do is we're going to just try to make this a season-long thing of like Dane and I versus the guests. You know what I mean? Just total season-long point thing and just see who can come out on top.
well, we're winning right now.
We are. So last time Dane came up with a clever way to come up with determining the draft order. This time, Dane also presented another interesting question, which we all had to answer. Dane, that question was?
It was how many wins collectively has Manchester United Football Club had in their existence?
So we were all surprisingly pretty damn close.
I mean, they're so old that you couldn't get an exact number online.
Approximately.
Yeah.
But that approximate number was pretty damn close to CornDoug, who had the closest
Heck
answer.
yeah, which I am impressed by us all. We were in
And
the
by the way,
ballpark, which is
the
impressive.
approximate number for those of you that are playing at home, I'll give you 5 seconds. It's approximately 2,600 wins. CornDoug said 2,800, I believe, was the winning guess. I had 2,000. You had 300 or 3,000.
Yeah,
something.
3,300 I went with.
And then David went with the Price is Right method, which
He did, man.
listen. It's a
Smart.
bold move. I like it. I do like that. So
Didn't win. I'll get it next time.
yeah,
Sorry,
Full
Drew
disclosure,
Carey's
though,
Cleveland.
I am born on the same day as Manchester United great Ryan Giggs. So I kind of.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the same date that they came into existence.
CornDoug, are you
That was
serious? Are you a
1878.
Are you a Manchester fan?
I got the gray hair to.
Are you a Manchester United fan?
I am.
Oh, no shit. Okay, we had no idea.
Hey, you learned some,
Yeah, and
some
listen.
history.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got it right then.
Yeah,
That's
why I said I had like the team poster like right.
I thought you were
Am I
just
right?
being a smartass.
I'm
but,
more of
like,
a Chelsea guy.
You're more of a
personally,
literal
so.
dude. So now I understand that. So all right, cool. So CornDoug's gonna have first pick, followed by me, and then Dane, and then Davin. So when we're going through this, so CornDoug, you're gonna get to decide: do you want to start in singles or do you want to start in doubles?
I will go. I'll go doubles. I guess.
Oh, we're going double. Oh, so we're going
Okay.
back to back, going doubles. Okay.
All right.
I don't
want
love
me to
that,
pick him?
CornDoug. Yeah, whenever you're ready. Who's a first doubles team that's coming off the board here?
I think I'm going to do JBJ and Logan Chamberlain.
That's a really good pick, man. I hate you for that because like that's actually I was like already in my head. I was writing it down because I figured that you would have picked the correct team there, which is the team I'm going to now go with, and you're just handing me on a silver platter the team that's going to now try to run the fucking gauntlet. All right, so we're going with Smith and Richards.
Okay.
They win National 1. I don't even think that they were at their best, and they still won, which is a scary thing for the rest of the league. So now I will say they do not have an easy bracket. If you're looking at the A bracket, which they're in, on the same side of their bracket alone are a bunch of studs. I'm not going to list them off just in case people want to take them, but it's not an easy bracket. If I was playing that kind of game, like looking at who I liked matchup wise, I do really like JBJ and Chamberlain there. So, all right, Dane, what's up?
So I went with the other team that has been throwing very, very well. Give me Kano and Hamilton.
Okay, I like it.
And now, Davin, we got you up for back-to-back picks.
It's just like my fantasy football draft all over again.
Yep.
Let's see. Maybe I go with Frank Modlin, Jamie Graham,
Nice.
I like that.
and then I get another doubles team, right?
Yep.
Maybe Eric Davis and Matthew Sorellis.
Yeah, it's a good pick. They're one of those teams that, like, yes, I know where they're at in the standings currently right now. And I know we all know how good they can be in round limited stuff, but this is 20 to 21.
Yeah.
I don't know, especially with what I saw to Sorrell's last time. He was struggling a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep it up on this format. Since now that they already have doubles taken care of, they're not at least getting points from the pro shootout and doubles anymore. So be interesting to see if it levels out a little bit.
Yeah, if they keep climbing it up.
Yep.
All right. I'm between two,
Okay.
and it's like, do I go with the head or the heart? And I'm gonna go with the heart. Give me Hissner Birchfield.
Okay. Again, they did pretty darn well the first time, and it's kind of boring and stuff. But I think Smith and Wiedenfield have a great draw in their subsection. And when you come down to these bracket contests and doing like fantasy stuff like this, that's what it really comes down to. You want the guys that you're pretty confident that they're going to win their first two games. Anything can happen after that, right?
Yeah.
But if you can try to avoid that tough first round matchup, you do it.
Mhm.
Just smart.
100%. That was the other team I was up on a coin flip. Doug, got you for back-to-back.
Took these guys last time. Gonna take them again. Malone and Harbaugh.
They have a really good draw too. They have a possible like second round matchup that could be an issue, but I think Harbaugh and Malone are the better team in that subsection for sure.
And for the second one, I'm going to go Ryan Trader and Alex Hicks.
Okay. I was hoping nobody would take Trader. His last name's so hard to spell.
You need that spelling again like last time?
I think I got it right this time. It's French. Sean, what loser are you picking now?
It's a team. I think that they have one of the best players who was quietly underrated the first national just because of he didn't win his bracket. They're not like a sexy pick at all, but Holland and Rawls. Now I'm kind of breaking my rule. They have a very tough potential second round matchup with another powerhouse team that will go over if no one picks them. But again, I think that they're a team that's destined to be at least a top 10 at worst this year.
I like it. I'm gonna go with a young duo. Give me Soto Gore.
Fuck you.
Davin, back to back to close us out for doubles and bring us in the final round, I should say.
Let's see. Probably Vincent Fish and Austin Cameron.
Okay.
Just because I looked at the rankings, if you can tell. And then probably the next one that I had written down here was Eddie and then Caleb Babson.
Yeah.
Yep. Dang, I thought they were gonna fall to me.
I wanted to take them, but I already have two teams in bracket A. Like I don't like doing that to myself.
Who do I want to go in for this one? All right, I'm gonna throw a wild card in there. It's a team that I think is gonna have they have potential. Give me Wilson and Sims.
So I have them written down, and right next to it, so I said Wilson, Sims, one of the two teams on this side of the bracket that I would draft. I'm gonna draft the other team. Well, actually, no, I don't, because I don't want to hamstring myself with two teams in the C bracket.
I'm not even looking at the brackets. Just
you know what?
happens.
I think this team, and we were actually just talking about how much just we really like this one guy. Just really like him. He's a really nice guy. He's a big Notre Dame fan. I just might as well stock my whole team up with Notre Dame fans. I really like their draw, and again, they had a sneaky finish. And this is that second national where sometimes some weird shit happens. It wouldn't surprise me to see Bernasette and Lopez Jr. make a run here. So I'm gonna take them as my team in the B bracket. They got some tough competition, but I'll take a roll with them.
I dig it. Doug, who you got last?
Last pick. 2 weeks ago, I sat in an airport in Calgary, Alberta at 1 a.m. with this guy talking. He said, watch out for us next national. We're going to get it going. Mike Ferreira and Damon Dennis.
Yep, I have them written down too.
How do you spell Ferreira? Is it double R's to start?
It doesn't matter.
I just call him.
Just Emfer.
I think that's
No,
it.
there's an I in there somewhere, I think.
Fieri?
I don't know.
He's a...
Just write Emper. So I do like that team. That whole subsection, though, Doug, scares the shit out of me. Because you have Gore and Soto, you have Emper, you have the Kufi, and then you have Ramirez and Roybell. Who, I mean, people are forgetting how well they played together at the first national. That might be pound for pound the most competitive subsection. So I was gonna end up taking Soto and Gore if you didn't.
Yeah.
But like it was one of those. I'm
That's
like,
a
all
tricky
right.
one though.
Like I like them, but like this would be a tough test and kind of stuff. So, all right. So we're gonna move on to singles. Other teams that I thought that kind of were at least worth mentioning. I took Holland and Rawls, but their potential second round matchup is against Creek Killer and Windsor. This is one of those, I think that it could be a bounce back for Windsor and Creek Killer. They didn't have a terrible performance in National 1. Windsor was awful in singles. They bounced back a little bit in doubles. This is one of those that it wouldn't surprise me, but I'm going with the hotter team right now. Not the team that's trying to find it. So, okay, so in singles, we're going to go in reverse order. So it's going to be Davin, Dane, myself, and then CornDoug. So Davin, you got first pick. You're on the clock. No pressure at all.
I'm gonna go Jeremiah Ellis for singles.
Dang it.
If you didn't, I'd be very
I feel like
surprised.
I have to take that.
Okay, let's have before we move on to the next pick. Do we think he's going to do it again?
It's really hard to...
No one's ever won back-to-back,
I know,
right? So,
but it's hard
did
to...
Richards win back-to-back in singles, but wasn't there a gap in between there?
Yeah, I felt like I think he may have lost one in between that.
So we know it can be done. We saw Eddie and KB, but that's doubles, right? It's a little bit different. He's got to slip up at some point, right? But he just still seems to be like so on top of his game.
Didn't he already slip up at the pool?
That's true.
Ooh, I like that. CornDoug. Look at
Zinger.
you. All right. And kind of literal.
Still came through
It did.
and won. Disgusting.
So, anyways, Jeremiah, we're huge fans. I think he's immensely talented. It's just that interesting. Can he do it?
Yeah.
And I like your pick.
Yeah.
It's deserving.
Next up, I'm going in my mind who the true number 2 is right now, Gavin Cano.
I'm going to draft him again because I didn't lose last time because of him.
Okay.
But I drafted him in the first round last time, and he did not live up to his expectation nor mine. This is Bounce Back City. Mark Richards, all right, is going to run the Gambit. He's going to win singles, and then him and Tony are going to make the finals in doubles.
So you're calling for them
Call
to
him a shot.
do the full
Yeah.
full
I think
pool?
watching Richards last time, he looked Richard, he just didn't look comfortable. And I feel like you said it before. He's still teaching, he's still working, but I feel like National 1 is kind of that wake up like, hey, same thing happened to you last year.
Yeah.
Wake the fuck up. Let's go. You're supposed to be like the MVP, dude. Like let's get this rocking and rolling.
Gets one to
So,
throw away.
yeah.
Just chooses the first one.
Correct. All right, CornDoug, you got back-to-back picks here, my man.
First pick, I'm going to go the same as you and take my first pick from last time, which is Tony Smith. And then second pick, going to go Logan Chamberlain.
That's a really goddamn it, CornDoug. Keep stealing my Texas
What am I
boys.
for?
Okay. All right. Again, it's one of those picks that like I'm not in love. I would much rather have the brackets in front of me.
Yeah.
Because if both these guys are in the same bracket, that's where it can kind of screw you. I still think in my power rankings, he's right up there. And I know who do you think I'm going to say? I'll tell you if I'm right.
I'd just say it.
I'm going to go with Alex Rawls.
Okay.
I just think he's just too consistent and stuff like this. So yeah,
It was definitely on my list.
make sure. Can you just put like Alex?
No.
Thank you. There we go. Boom. All
You
right.
know, I typed
On
out
you.
Smith first, and I'm like, well,
I'm interested to see where you go here.
Yeah, it's a tough spot because it's like, do you ride the hot hands of the youth that started out hot, or do you go with who's been there, done that, and you believe can recover and make a showing? It's a rarity to ever hear this name called in the third round, so I'm going to take him now.
In the
Give
second
me
round, yeah,
Jamie Graham.
that's who I was thinking. Those
I
are
just
the-
mean like even
no, I get
we've
it.
taken him in the second before, but it's never made it to the third. So
No,
I'm
I
just gonna
agree.
take
He was one of those
Jamie.
guys. And again, if you're looking at the standings, and that's what you're going by right now,
Yeah.
he'd still be there because
Yeah,
he just didn't have that. But he's due for a bounce back as well.
Absolutely.
And by the way, if Mark Richards ends up winning the thing, I'm using that sound clip everywhere.
I would hope so. All
Yeah, for sure. So
right, Davin.
Yeah.
Two up.
cross your fingers.
Picking maybe Ryan Trader.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
one of the kids will have to finish it here.
DraftKings is hoping not, but And you got one more pick.
Okay. And then Jacob Trzynski.
That's a good pick.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, since he beat Smith, one of the opens, I think, or national, whatever one that was.
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
just been playing so
surprised.
consistent this year, and he's got that little fire to him, and he just seems like a very
Did I
safe
spell
pick.
that correct too?
No, it's TRZ.
Nope, that's right.
Okay.
All right. Who do I want to go with here? You know, I'm gonna go with somebody that's surprised us this season. It's been throwing very well. I'm gonna go Ethan Walker.
Okay. I guess I'm not going there. And I'm like staring at this, and I'm like, I could take another young gun. I could take this who's supposed to be like in quotes like the safe bet, but again, he's too like to me. He's kind of up and down all over the place. All right, I'm gonna hope he has his shit together. I'm gonna go Sammy Soto. take a chance. Did well the first national. Let's hope it's not let's just see him consistent. I keep forgetting we get 6 guys too.
Yeah.
So it's just nicer. I keep thinking I'm like limited. So yeah, I'll go Soto there.
Dougie Fresh.
Ooh, Dougie D.
Got 2.
Because I hung out with his World Mini Bags Championship partner from Rock Hill last year, this past weekend, I'm going to take Eric Davis.
That was the other player I was considering, by the way. So I like that pick. Thank you. Makes me feel
nice
better.
name drop. He's just talking about how many cool people he hangs out with.
Well, shout out to him, Sean Steffen, a Canadian that won the World Mini Bags with him. And then Fisher Hamilton.
Big Fish.
So we still got not seen. Can't do that to me right before I'm going to pick. You know what? Give me Trey Birchfield. He's turning the corner, man. I think that he looked really good in National 1. I think that maybe Birch is kind of back, and I'm ready for it. So
fair enough. Another one that we usually don't hear called this late for singles, but give me Harbaugh.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love Devin. Just I never take him in these kind of drafts.
I know, but to me, it's with these drafts it's about consistency, and yeah, he might not be winning them all, but he's usually in the conversation.
Yeah,
so.
I agree.
All right, Davin, you got us up for 2 in a row.
2 in a row. Let's go. Another young one, Jacob Gore. And then let's go Matt Guy.
Ooh, nice.
Dang it. I thought he was going to fall to me. Way to snipe him. That's a good one.
Gotta take young with old.
You do have to mix it up.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Like with having like him on your team, like people are going to be like, "Oh, why are you taking all 15-year-olds? Like average age, motherfucker."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It bumps up to the 40s.
Another one that I feel like people may have forgotten his name a little bit, even after just one national, but give me KB.
God, fuck, man. All right.
That's Caleb Batson for those of you at home that maybe forgot his name.
Okay, well thought that was going to be a slam dunk right there. All right, if no one's going to take him, give me Braden Wilson. Why not?
I wouldn't have said that. I mean, some people might take him later.
I thought that he would have been taken already. You know what I mean? Like
I was thinking maybe I was going to go there, but I honestly went Harbaugh over him and KB over him just because you never know. Doug, closing out your singles here.
I'll go Ian Cripps.
Cripps walking.
And then go Adam Hisner.
All right, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to go with the guy that I think deserves to be getting a little bit more credit. He's done pretty well in opens and made some deep runs in doubles with Kaylee Hunter. But the guy's name is Fath Sem, and the guy has been on a tear this year. He is a slick side down the middle. He's going to just kill you with 4-baggers. And coming off his first national, yeah, that's correct. You spelled it right, yeah. Right. Coming off his first national, I was super impressed. I didn't take him last time just because I think he's really good, but you just never quite understand what's gonna do when they get to their first national.
Yeah,
he ended up taking 5th in his bracket. So I'm a believer. I think the guy is there. I don't think that he gets bothered by anything.
Well, especially if these boards continue to be as slow as people were saying.
Yeah, I think. So I'm gonna take a chance. He's again different name on there. I mean, you could throw out a whole bunch of other names, but let's get some new names on this list.
New blood.
Hell yeah. Your last one.
My last.
Did I steal him from you?
No, actually, that was. I wouldn't say out of left field because he's definitely been on my radar, but I was thinking maybe seniors win again or something.
I don't think he's that old.
He's not that old?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Just seems like
Yeah, I get it.
older name. Give me someone that we've just been noticing how smooth he is right now. Give me Wiedenfeld.
Yeah.
I know he hasn't been the greatest in the single stage.
Watching you spell sometimes like watching Dad try to pronounce like Hushmanzada.
Is that not how you spell it?
No.
Okay.
It's
Again, I don't troll the internet like some people, so like I don't say all these last names all the time. At least I know how to pronounce them when I
I
do see
before
them.
E, Dean. Dane, I before E.
Davin. Look at that. Nailed it.
Yes.
Nailed it again. Okay. Don't want to brag or
You're
anything.
on a roll.
but I am on a roll.
Let's go Eric Davis.
Gone.
Already
He's
taken.
Oh, shoot.
Third
Ryan
round.
Smith.
Go
I
Ryan
didn't
Smith.
check it off. Yes.
Very nice. What do we think, CornDoug? What do you think of Cody Henderson and his run? So, like, he's had like okay seasons like the last 2 years, right? Like every once in a while, he'll make a splash, but then like I think 2 years ago, he just had that terrible draw, went 0-2. You know what I mean? It was just trying to dig his way out, and then he comes out this national, takes second in his bracket. Like, is Cody Henderson back? Like, are we seeing it more? Like now that he's like a full-time cornhole guy? Like, are we like is it dumb for us nobody to have taken him?
Again, it definitely flashed in my mind.
It seems kind of dumb to me, like that I
Yeah.
didn't take him.
I think I want to see it. I want to see Cody back, and
It's kind of yeah.
I'm saying I want to see it twice. You've seen it once. I just want to be able to see just to kind of not to say to make sure, but just
Well, and that's why I don't
Like, he did
like.
take
Don't get me
that
wrong.
time off,
Braden
right?
Wilson, phenomenal player. Do I think he's going to finish well? Yeah, he's probably going to finish very well. I mean, he won his
Yeah.
bracket last time, but is he going to win his bracket again? The odds are just no, he's not. So in these contests, I typically try to shy away from that,
Yeah.
but to me, it's like almost disrespectful to let certain people sit there for like so long.
and again, we only
that,
took
like don't
20
overthink it almost. You
only
know what I mean?
took 24 players, and I think we all believe that 50 could probably.
Oh yeah,
win
yeah,
this
correct.
thing.
There's a
So,
whole
like,
laundry list of guys that you can still do, but when you start going beyond 6 rounds, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
exactly. It gets
drown out a little bit. But I've always enjoyed doing it this way. Unfortunately, with singles, we're not going to know the brackets until
Yeah.
like the following day because the pro shootout singles needs to finish before the final seeding. So that does play a lot into doing with this kind of stuff. But again, I'm not a huge fan. CornDoug, do you have any thoughts about the pro shootout and stuff? The points being over, like, do you like that the round limited like finishes all kind of lumped together with the 21 matches?
I don't dislike it. I know, like, because we've just started doing our own pro shootouts up here, right? At each open, we're having a pro shootout for the Canadian stuff,
Okay.
but they're not round limited, so it's not kind of we don't really have to deal with that. But I don't dislike it. I guess I can say that.
I just feel like
But-
it's such a different game altogether. And they created the round
Yeah.
limited stuff for TV broadcasts, right? Most of the time to make sure it's
Mhm.
manageable. And it was also an opportunity for, let's call it what it is, lesser players to maybe hold their own because maybe they can stick with somebody for 10 or 12 rounds, right? So now all of a sudden you created a system in a game, a way to play the game that's already kind of giving, I don't want to call it like a competitive advantage, but at least they're getting, you're leveling the playing field at least a little bit for everybody.
yeah.
And then you're adding those points back in. It just doesn't seem right. And then like watching how much it's weighted, like again, like not to harp on this again, but it just seemed like it's early on in the season. We've seen it time and time again. If you don't do well and like, let's say you did okay, like let's say you finished 7th in your bracket, right? You had a solid weekend. That's like middle of the pack. Like you're not going to get crushed by a draw most likely.
Yeah.
But then you did terrible in your pro shootout. Now you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like who gives a shit? It's round limited. Like
Yeah.
I mean, one person's walking away with all the cash at the end of the season anyways. It's like, I mean, you don't win anything. But now you're including it with points. I just feel like it wasn't talked enough about going in.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that the game to 21 is the mecca of the cornhole purist. I mean, Adam Hissner put it best in saying against Jeremiah Ellis, he would have been down 19-6 through 8 rounds.
Yeah.
And like, there's no chance to come back from that in a round limited
I think
format.
that's what a round limited does kind of affect the players that are in there for like the long haul, like that want those long games, right? And that puts them at a disadvantage because they're not used to going for those points right away. They're fine to wash out rounds or just maybe lose 1 or 2 because they know they can pick it up later on. So that's kind of where they are at that disadvantage. I know with us up here in Canada with the ACL Canada, we've we've just started doing the round limiteds with our teams event, and the first couple events with the teams events, there were some people that got pretty messed up with, oh, I've only got 5 rounds to throw. I'm not here for playing the 21, right? So they weren't really going for they could have went for points a little earlier. They didn't, to try and to maybe get it later on, and they kind of got messed up in that. So it does take a bit of getting used to.
We did stumble across something yesterday when we were looking at some of the stats, and maybe you're the person that can answer this for us. We noticed that it's 2 Canadian players actually lead 2 pretty major stats in the ACL right now. And I'm wondering do their Canadian Open stuff, like, does that count towards like all the pro stats stuff? Because I think it's like Connor Weiss is like leading in DPR of like 1.4 something, which is just astronomically high.
Yeah, and then Dion,
if you would expect to see
Dion
that, he would be winning his bracket kind of thing, even if it is doubles.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dion was over a 1 as well. DPR,
yeah, correct. And
like
I think that was in singles. So I was wondering if that's why. Is that if like maybe those pro shootouts in Canada, like were they at those?
Connor has been at all of them. Dion's been at 2. Yeah, Dion's been at 2 of them so far.
But would that make sense though? Do you think those stats are lumped together?
Possibly, because I know Connor's got a doubles win.
Okay.
And he's gone pretty deep into singles.
Okay. I was just curious. I didn't know how they're folding that all in.
Yeah, he's had a couple top finishes there, and then even like he just won our conference we had on the weekend here.
And Connor Weiss is a super nice guy. I thoroughly enjoy him whenever I get to see him at tournaments and stuff. He's always made a point to stop and say hi to us and stuff.
Dion's got the best accent in the game. So.
That might be one of my favorite interviews we ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, both of them at the same time.
We did.
Yeah, it was just so much fun, and Dion's such a character, man. I love it, dude. Like, we need to get him on for a full episode. He was really good.
You do, and then there's some stuff that you can ask him that will probably just set him off that I can help you with. But he is and I love having him on live feeds because I just have to send 1 or 2 messages to people, and I get like 100 extra viewers on those live just for those live when he's on, and I'll like say, where's everyone watching from? And all of a sudden it's like Point May, Newfoundland is like 18 to 30 people are like, that's like the whole town that is like watching, that'll stop to watch him.
I mean, I know you guys are all nice up there anyways, but he seems like especially nice and like likable, and seems like he has a big following and stuff. So
yeah.
So we're gonna jump. We'll have you guys hang on just for a second. We're gonna do the dramatic reading.
All right,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
In a world where beanbags have brought men to their knees, social media serves as sanctuary for keyboard warriors. Time for the dramatic readings.
And as always, our dramatic readings are brought to you by Big D Bags.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing feels better in a grown man's hands than a big old D flopping around. So why don't you head over to Big D Bags and grab your girth today.
Do you see the new Bowie designs he did today?
Yeah.
Like, the printing skill is getting pretty ridiculous, and like his designs are some of the best, if not. And I love that art style, kind of like the pop art a little bit.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's sexy.
So good.
Only the best for big D's. Let's be honest.
Dramatic reading. LaCarrie Steele. So today was my first Cornhole Open, and 1,000,000% definitely my last. I played in Tier 4. It was supposed to be the lowest / less experienced category they have for like rookies / beginners that suck that you can enter. Well, that's complete lie bullshit. My first game I got scored 27-0. I've never been blown out like that before, so yeah, really a Tier 4 player, my ass. It gets way better. The next game, I played a heavyset lady that drove in from Georgia. She got 13 in a row and 3 airmails in a row. Oh yeah, really? That's Tier 4 my ass. I'm not stupid. No one is going to drive that far to play Tier 4 if they actually really a Tier 4 player, and I'm a decent player, but definitely below average. If I knew they were going to allow sandbagging, I wouldn't have wasted my time or money, not including she cheated me out of 3 scored points, and Julie's seen it too, but I said F it and didn't want to argue.
Anyway, When I got it 17-2, I said, I forfeit, instead of continuing to be humiliated by a traveling pro, picking on beginners, and walked away feeling like I had been scammed out of $70. Then, I noticed other players in Tier 4 that definitely wasn't Tier 4 players, because I know them and have played them. I've seen them win many tournaments around here against players way better and experienced than me. I would be ashamed doing that. I personally think that's cheating. Will get me once, but it will never happen again. And if you say I'm a sore loser, ask me if I give an F. Angry emoji. Feeling pissed off.
LeCarry, first of all, brother, well done. I think brother, right? I'm assuming. It seemed a little bit too aggressive for a female. And I don't think a female would refer to another female as a heavy-set lady. I forgot about that part, and I almost lost it. I don't know why.
I think I have an edit because mine doesn't say that.
So it sounds like it sounds like he went to the Open in Louisiana, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Just based on the grammar and stuff. But if you're not familiar with how an Open works, there's rounders, right? So you play rounders, you get your ass kicked, which sounds like happened, and then you're entered into Tier 4. Well, if there's a whole bunch of like only good players that show up, somebody's got to go into Tier 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really just depends on those Open, the level of skill
And
that's
even
going
good
there.
players can shit the bed.
So
for
Tier 4
rounders.
does not necessarily mean that you're shit. It just means that they played shit in rounders.
Yes.
Or they played
100%.
really tough teams in rounders.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Now, do some people sandbag it and try to get in there?
100%. Which,
Absolutely.
again, if you're walking home smiling and you're celebrating and you're bragging that you won like an Open and it's
Yeah.
like Tier 4.
I mean, Sean, all it takes is a knife to scratch out the 4 on that
Oh,
trophy,
yeah.
and you're good to go.
Correct.
Just saying.
Few scratches, competitive turns to advance real quick.
Bingo.
Real quick. I do feel for that because, like, you hope if that is the experience for a lot of people when they go, and you have one, I think it's, to me, there's like two types of people. There's either one that they're going to be a bitch and they forfeit because you're being a bitch and you forfeit because
Yeah.
you're getting beat by a heavyset lady and you're probably getting pissed off.
Hit rollbacks.
Or it's going to be someone that's going to motivate. And they're gonna be all in and
Yeah.
be like, I'm never gonna get my ass kicked like that
You're
again.
gonna be like, man,
I'm gonna come
not
back
at
to this
the
next
level
year.
I thought I was.
And- yeah, exactly. And listen, we all have that humbling moment. David, I'm sure you've had that humbling moment before, right? When you first start playing.
I still have that moment. when
Yeah,
I'm
well, that's what I'm saying. We all go from being backyard thinking we're pretty good, we can do this. Like these guys, how hard can it be? And then you go to your first real event and be like, oh, it's way harder than I thought.
Yeah.
And they have two-sided bags. Like fuck me.
Yeah.
Like fuck me to tears.
I have to say, I feel Carrie's pain. 2018 Worlds, I had to play a 7-year-old Mennonite lady, full garb, bonnet, everything.
Oh,
I put a block up, and then she put 4 airmails clean over top.
could've
of
told
it.
you, man.
Didn't even touch
Mennonite and
Mennonite,
Amish,
man. You
they're
gotta watch 'em.
assassins. Yeah, anytime they show up to a regional here, they always try to join like intermediate or competitive just to walk away. And they've since learned like,
Yeah.
no, you're gonna play advanced, bud. Like if
Yeah.
you have a beard that's down to here, you're playing advanced. That's a new rule. All right,
Yeah.
if you have a funny looking straw hat,
And we know everything they're playing on is way better than anything we've ever played on. All right. Like their craftsmanship
just the
is
nicest. They weigh like
incredible.
400 pounds.
Yeah,
And those motherfuckers are never. Oh, actually, they could just pick it up with one finger
Yeah,
at that
that's,
point.
they're built strong like
And they
that.
never have bags, so they're throwing like brand new fucking bags, and they're just like, diming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to lose to a guy when it's 90 degrees and they're wearing like overalls, a button-down shirt.
Damn it,
suspenders.
Jedediah.
Yeah,
Come on.
what the fuck is going on?
A guy would be okay. Like I said, this was a Mennonite lady that was kicked my ass.
I mean, listen, we love ladies here on the show, Doug. Okay, so I don't know what to tell you. All right, you want to cue the rap horn?
Oh, can I?
Do you ever?
I do. Yeah.
Do it?
Oop,
Oh,
oop,
you
I
got
passed
one
it.
past one. You never do.
Yeah.
Reach us at Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Big Asp Cornhole.
And the last one remaining is Facebook at Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Thanks again to our sponsors. Visit DraggingBags.com. Drop code BIGASP12 at checkout to save yourself some money.
And if you're in the market for a new set of bags, consider going over to Black Sheep Baggers. All right, if you use code Big Asp, you're going to save yourself 10%. And if you're in the market for a new set of boards, we're talking pro level boards, good print, high quality, they're durable, they're sexy, they hold up to all the criticism. Go to gnarlybags.com and use code Big Asp, and you'll save yourself 10%.
And last but not least,
Never.
Big D bags. We always like to say, Big D bags, don't be one, throw them.
Oh, yeah. And Patreon. If you are like, what the hell is Patreon? Patreon is a community that we're building.
Ask
where,
Davin.
Yeah. Appreciate your support, David. It's a community where if you're looking for bonus content, you want to support us in what we're doing, you could go to patreon.com/Big Asp Cornhole. I try to be on there at least every day. We're posting random questions. There's polls. We do monthly happy hours, bonus interviews. We just released one today with Adam and Jennifer Hissner. So if you're an Adam Hissner fan, or if you're looking to find out more about the ACL officiating program, check it out. Jennifer just went through the program. She's one of the first. She goes into some details about all that kind of stuff.
Well, we like to consider Patreon like our Abba Zabba, because it's our only fan.
You're only friends. Clan of assholes. So, yeah. But thank you guys both for joining. I know it's kind of like last minute stuff, but Davin, you killed it. CornDoug, always a pleasure, sir. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're clearly a cornhole loser like ourselves. If you're looking for more content, go check out CornDoug stuff. All right, the down and back. CornDoug does a killer
covering
job.
all ACL Canada stuff, and
Yep. CornDoug's one of the
and
few
more.
that's I think you're the only one left that's been around longer than us.
That's correct. Yep.
Were you pre-Dogcast?
We started the same week.
Okay, did you? Okay, all right.
We didn't know that until we talked later on. But yeah, we started the same week.
Okay, yeah. Rest in peace to our brothers.
they're not dead, but their spirit is.
The Dogcast spirit, yes, is very dead, very very dead. But thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. We're gonna be joined by Wally as long as he wakes up from his nap, and then Hunter Thorne.
Beautiful.
And speaking of ACL live feeds, I'm going to say one thing. If
Please.
people can go and check out ACL Canada
Yes.
on Facebook. I had a new live feed person with me, Keaton Carey McLeod. Let people know if you liked it, and he's going to maybe stick around. And finally, I'll have a co-host.
That'd be
We're
sweet.
doing live feeds. Just won't be
It's so much. It's so much better when you have a co-host. It's hard doing it by yourself,
Yeah.
man. It really is.
Not that I don't like talking to myself.
I know my
Amen,
co-host
brother.
never shows up to stuff anymore, so I've just been solo dolo.
I'll be in Arizona with
Still
you.
killing the game though. Still killing it.
I know. I do feel bad. I do. Like, I'm just like, I know it's been like 3 straight months that I haven't been. I'm dying. Like, I am dying. We were counting down the minutes until we could leave to Arizona. We finally posted all the stuff from Whole 9 Yards. If you were listening to the show and you're in the Arizona area, Phoenix area specifically, go to Whole 9 Yards. We're going to be around Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're recording a live episode. We're throwing a big cornhole tournament on Cinco de Mayo. It's going to be a blast, and you'll get to meet our dad.
Yeah.
Like, he's like a mini version of us.
Papa Asp.
Yeah, Papa Asp. He's coming with us. We're dragging him along, and we'll have daily reports on how well he's holding up.
Yes, we will.
Dane already had to sit him down and have that talk. So
I did. I'm like, Dad, you're not in college anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
we're gonna have to watch out after you.
Got to rein it in.
Someone's got to drive us home. So, so anyways, again, thank you guys for joining. Hope you guys enjoy the interview, and as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later. All right, welcome back to the Big Asp Cornhole podcast. We're now joined by Mr. K9 Unit himself, Wally Kassler, and ACL Pro Hunter Thorne. What's going on, guys?
How's it going? What up, boys?
It's going. So, Wally,
So many
you've got
guests this week.
I know we've been
It's
just
insane.
killing it. Game.
I want them down.
Seriously, I mean, yeah. But this is the favorite one. All right, we save the best for last, I guess. Right, Wally, you got to be tired, man. You've been on the road.
Yeah, man, a little bit too much, but just trying to grind this year. Hopefully be debt free by the end of the year is the goal. So pretty much taking any job I can right now.
Oh, yeah, you just came from, was it the Northeast Conference?
Northeast Conference in New Hampshire. So I don't know where I was at when I looked at it the first time. It did not seem like it was that far on the map. And then I was like, okay, let's map it out real quick, because I got back from Westwego and I thought I had more time. Then the kiddo had a softball game, so I went to her softball game, and I was like 2 minutes away from bags. So I was like, screw it, I'll just go play bags tonight. And then, if you're listening to me, I'll never check about my flight until like I go to bed. So I realized it's an early flight for me, and I didn't have any of the equipment packed. I was like, screw it, I'm just going to throw it all in the truck and drive, and we'll figure it out. Looked at Ohio. Jeremiah Ellis is halfway. We'll get some content. It'd be perfect. And then I hop in the car after hanging out with the AKL boys. And 11 hours. I was like, okay, did not plan this through. 17-hour drive home. Screwed it all up.
Pre-stamps. Well, okay, so we're going to the AKL in July.
Yeah.
I think we're going the Wednesday before, like we had the can open and stuff. What was like? What do we have to mentally prepare for out there?
Well, out there is it. I had no idea it was an outdoor like weekly blind draw.
Yeah.
So I was driving. We had a company meeting. On the meeting, I just fly right by this place. And then I was like, wait a second, man. They look like they're throwing cornhole there. So I turned back around, and sure enough, it's like in his backyard. It's a nice setup. Matt has it all hooked up out there. And then next thing I know, dude, 120 people start showing up in this backyard with a food truck, and they do it right, man. It's pretty cool. They start off every night with a shot of Fireball, apparently. So I knew I was in for a long one at that point when they had, 52 Fireball shots on the table.
Yeah, I literally already requested that day and the next day off.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, we're gonna be going to the open, so fuck it, might as well take Friday off too. So just fuck it, why not, right? So
Cornhole vacation.
yep, because yeah, exactly. When this is called the real job supporting your dream job kind of thing, like so, but it is what it is. So, Hunter, man, thanks for joining the show. I think it's been a long time coming. I've wanted to have you on as a guest for a minute.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Of course,
really
man.
Appreciate it.
So you've had a pretty wild start to the season, man. Like you have a new doubles partner. You guys had some success in opens and everything. So how you feeling about like after National 1, heading into National 2? By the time people are listening to this, I mean, you'll probably be on your way over to Denver area. So
yeah, so I leave tomorrow. So definitely when people start seeing this, I'll be there already. But I'm really excited. I played really good in doubles at the first National. Jake didn't have his best performance, but I know that I'm like going through the whole season, I'm going to be the one that has to focus more than he does because he's always throwing 10, 11, like every single game.
Yeah.
So I really got to hold my end down and let him go to work.
And how did that partnership happen?
So he was looking to split up with Jack, and me and Noah were splitting up. So I talked to him a little bit at Worlds. I talked to some other people, and like a couple days before Spencer's, he gave me a call and said we can run it. So I was like, okay, put me in.
Sweet. I mean, it makes
ready.
sense. You guys are also two like BG sponsored players and have been for a minute, so
Yeah.
it kind of made sense. And
Yes.
and why?
That worked
So
out great.
you had partnered up with Noah Wooten the year before, and then it's kind of been like you've kind of hopped partners quite a bit, like since you've been a pro. So why the change?
partner.
So why the change again? Like why not run it back with Noah again?
terms of
Me
bag
and Noah
bunny.
just be working out too well. Like his the bag style was a lot different.
Okay.
I like really sticky bags, and Noah wasn't able to throw them
Okay.
like as good as he normally can.
Okay.
So we just figured it best for us to split up.
Okay, fair enough. So is that how it works? Like, because I always find it interesting. So do you guys treat it like a business? Like, are you guys like there's no hard feelings kind of thing? Like you guys, I mean, obviously you guys see each other so often, and there's other opportunities to throw together. But I've always been interested in that dynamic. Like, are you guys like still pretty tight? Like, you guys friends?
Yeah, we're still close, like
Okay.
really close. Like again, me and Noah are like pretty much family.
Okay.
Like we used to go to every single tournament together, go over to each other's houses all the time. Just we pretty much spent like 2 years together straight.
Okay.
So we're always going to be good.
That's awesome.
You're nicer
I
than
was just
me
a matter
because if you would like jump ship and start a podcast with Wally instead of me, like you're dead to me.
He knows. He knows. Wally.
Wait,
He
is there
knows.
something you guys are telling me?
He knows.
Of sudden,
Okay.
Wally just walks down my stairs.
Lucky for you, man, I got no time to do another podcast. I started one with Brian Betancourt, and I was like, hey, man, we're supposed to go live. I'm on the road. Can you just go ahead and throw me in the dark in the car? And we did something yesterday. We're like all right,
There you
this
go.
is unorganized and sloppy, but we're going to do it.
What's the new podcast called?
Hey, you got it.
We don't even know yet.
Oh,
Yeah, we got
nice.
it. Basically, we want to make sure we do recaps of the nationals and stuff on Sunday when it's fresh in our head.
Yeah. That is nice. That is nice. What do you think about the whole, and Hunter, I want to hear your thoughts too. Now that we have to wait, right? So we have a national, but it's like it's like they're blue balling us, right? Like they get us all the way, they get us to bracket winners, and we just there's only like 2 more matches. Like what the fuck are we doing? What do you guys say? Did you, now that we've gone through one, we had the 2-week wait. I think my opinion's changed maybe a little bit from what I was originally thinking. What do you guys think about this whole the waiting period for the finals?
I really don't mind it. Like it's really good for the fan base. So everybody who goes to the Open can get to watch all the pros play on TV and enjoy the broadcast.
Theoretically.
Which, like, past nationals, you couldn't. So that's good. And then, like, for the players, it's a lot harder to play 2 weeks after you were just hot at the national and already, like, locked into that mindset. So it's hard to get back into the mindset of playing a national again. And obviously the boards are really fast on the broadcast, so that's not great. But I think there's definitely things the ACL can figure out going forward, and just to make it a better overall experience for the people playing on the broadcast.
Yeah, to me, it just still doesn't make any sense that you guys are playing on different, let's call it different equipment pretty much than what you've been playing on all day. You know what I mean? Like, it is tough. Like, different players perform differently on, I'm assuming you like slower boards, right?
Yeah,
you want it as dirty as possible. You got a nasty roll game, like, you know what I mean? Like, that makes sense. But like, you give these other guys, they're going to throw, like, a Steven Bernadette wants the boards lightning fast. Give him slick side down, lightning fast board.
Blocker,
yeah, you just go in. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. So I don't know. I struggle with that still a little bit, but I understand the ACL standpoint and why they did it. Like, they're trying to make it an open so people show up. My only thing, and I'm hoping that we're going to see in 2 weeks from now, is people actually show up to these events. If we want the game to grow, we can't have empty fucking stands on ESPN again. It's just a bad look. If I'm watching it, it looks podunk. It looks like, oh, this shit was just thrown together. Like, no, this shit takes a lot of planning. So they're putting it at open so people attend the events. I don't know what the venue was like last time. I don't know how far away. I heard it might have been a minute from, like the downtown area. So maybe that was away from it. But again, like, if you're there, you got to go to attend these events, man. Like, if you're local,
got to attend it.
Show up and show out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's better for content purposes. Gives us a chance to talk about things and build the hype a little bit.
100%.
I do think that we need to do a better job about, pushing the DraftKings odds and kind of getting stuff out there and explaining to people. It's going to be interesting in 2 weeks, though, because, Vegas is amazing. A lot of people are going to be in Vegas. But there's a lot of stuff to do in Vegas. So, yes, as far as the growth of the sport and the plans that they have, I think it's important to make sure we have it there. The only other option I could think of, and this was back whenever COVID hit, I think back then we had like the Super National, where they had the national events and then they had the TV broadcast, but everybody could play in the open divisions there. But at that point, you're talking about massive
those
tournaments
venues
and venues. So.
Huge.
Yeah, it's hard to find venues for that size of tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is. I mean, but again, like, that's when you start talking like, hey, we'll host the same four cities every year and start lining up like long-term deals and stuff to try to get it locked down. But again, like, that's all. Again, it's trial and error, so I guess we're just in this other phase of, hey, let's try something new and see what sticks. But again, I'm there with you. I was just disappointed with how many people didn't stick around to watch it.
What do you guys think about this idea of changing the nationals as if, like, it's similar, like, in a way, like to how the Masters or like the majors are in golf, right? Where every year, like, the second national, like, we know it's what, if they want to call it the Cornhole Mania or whatever the fuck they call it now, you can call it whatever you want. But it's always an outdoor event. I mean, it's always going to be an outdoor event. And I know that there's been issues and talks from ESPN doesn't want it outdoor because they don't want their equipment. I get it. But I'm saying, if we're not going to play the finals anyways, the finals can be indoor, but why not have a national outdoors? Showcase who can play the best outside in the elements kind of thing. I don't know. Like, do you think the pro players in general be open to that? Or are you guys a coddled group too much now that you guys all have to play inside in order to, like, show who the best is?
I'm going to let Hunter go first just in case I offend him.
I think everybody's definitely, like, more on the side of play inside just so the conditions are consistent across the board.
Okay.
But I think it'd be interesting to see an outside event added to the pro season. But I think you'd see a lot of people finish a lot lower than where they normally would.
I think you're right.
If it's played outside.
I mean, it's an outdoor game. It started
different.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, Wally, what do you think?
So I think there should be something different. The problem is, no matter what you add or take away, there's going to be bitching and complaining about it.
That's what's great about this community, man. It's literally, we've created a show.
The way this world is, I would not mind adding it if it would be like a fifth national. You know what I mean? And you still count three. So if people suck there, they could throw that one out. But the best cornhole tournament in the entire year is Spencer McKenzie. We do that one outside. We play the elements. We all know it's going to be windy. We all know it's going to be fast. We all know it's going to suck. And then the broadcasts are indoors, and I think it looked really, really cool last year. So that might be an option to just make Spencer McKenzie part of the circuit.
Yeah, I don't. Why not?
I mean, to me, like that
make
needs
it the
to
Players
be,
Championship kind of thing.
Needs
You
to
know
be
what I mean?
Cornhole's Waste Management Championship, where it's just kind of a free for all epic shit show, and like Spencer's is a great one to have that.
That's
show
what they call it.
Hey,
TCM.
whatever's going to bring in the sponsor to get us all some more money, dude, I'm all about it. I'll play in the water for all I care.
Yeah, where are we? Where are we at? Like, I feel like the ACL is far enough along. I just feel like Seagrams and corn nuts, man. Like, first of all, what the fuck is what are corn nuts? And like, come on, man. Like, this is cornhole. How have we not landed something bigger, man? I am being a little critical right now, but like, I feel like it's time. Like, I'm worried about the future of where we're going and the lack of direction right now. So
Seagrams just bothers me because
if you listen to our Patreon bonus
time you saw a
episode,
wine cooler
went on
in
a
your
little
fridge?
rant. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man. Them Seagram 7s are kind of hitting pretty good.
They are. Why not? Yeah,
I wouldn't know
Yeah,
because I don't
dude.
see them anywhere. I never see them to buy anywhere.
That's why they're using ACL.
Can they sell them at the venue though?
Probably not. I don't
Oh,
know.
they give them away for free.
Yeah, they give them away for free.
Even then, I don't know.
So the other thing we
Skeptical.
the other thing we talked about was like the fact that like the pro shootout is now counting towards like the overall standings. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about that.
So it only counts. You only count one for the whole
Correct.
pro season. So you count 3 nationals, 1 shootout, and then worlds. And there's no shootout at worlds either. So I'm not the biggest fan of it because I think it's a lot tougher to beat me playing to 21 than it is to score 6 points and then just hold it down from there. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the shootout.
I get it.
And I really don't think it should be counting towards our pro points
That's fair.
just because it's not real cornhole.
It's cornhole. It's just a different version of it. You know what I mean, we've been trying to think of like what's the best analogy we can use, and I was thinking like, is it like NBA and Big Three? Like, not really.
No.
But what did you say?
So I initially said like it's almost as if the PGA did like the Wednesday Pro-Am and made that like count for points or something, or even like the Ryder Cup counted for points.
Yeah.
Toward like it's an entirely different entity as a part of like that pros partake in. I don't know, like I don't have an issue with the shootouts like having some weight.
Some correct. Yes, I agree with that.
The issue is that it has the same weight as a national, and after this first one, all of those points are sticking for everyone. So these like rankings right now they're funky.
Well,
I don't care what anyone says. Like if you look at the singles rankings,
they are playing the pro shootout singles first. So like, if someone who finished last in the pro shootout but then wins this one, their points are like their stands.
It'll even it out because it'll drop some. I understand that, but just for the first or for the second national seedings, I feel like it has really thrown a wrench in the chain of what we're used to seeing.
I agree. No, I think it's weighted heavily early in the season, and as the season plays out, it should level out some. But the fact that initially that they're weighted the same, it just like, don't get me wrong, Eric Davis had a really, really good weekend. He's not the second best player in the world right now. He's not. I don't care what you say. Like,
again, because we love the game to 21.
Because that's the actual game.
Yeah.
This round limited stuff. Again, they created this because they were trying to give they had to create something that was quick and easy for broadcast that they knew they could time well and they knew how long it was going to take. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to give the, in quotes, lesser players a chance to feel like they give a better chance. Like Hunter said, it's easier to score 6 points in the first round than hold on to a win for, 10, 9, 11 more rounds or whatever it is than it is to try to sit there and hold and score 21 points against them. It's a completely different strategy.
Like I'll be sitting on 20 for at least 10 rounds before you take me out. It's gonna be a minute.
No, sometimes that's how some people are though.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people like to be down. Like it's almost like it locks them in. You know what I mean? And then once they lock in, like then you're screwed. But in the round limit, it is very different. And again, there are certain people who have excelled very well in it. But you know what? They've also won a lot of money at the end of the season because they're really good at it. So like, should they also get like pro points too? I don't know. Wally, what do you think?
Yeah, I didn't mind it being separated. I like seeing different versions of the sport being played. You guys talked about it before. I haven't seen it in person, the skins format and stuff like that. That looks kind of fun. I like walking doubles. I like playing crew cup. I like showing that there's more to the sport than just going straight to 21. As far as counting it towards the pros, I mean, I don't know. That's above my pay grade. Maybe they have a reason they're doing it. I do like that it shuffles up the singles order more than just doubles rounders like we did last year.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of doubles rounders determining single rankings and stuff like that because it's flat out somebody can get carried. You know what I mean?
100%. Yes.
And I like it a little bit better for that aspect, but I'm going to be curious to see how it plays out the rest of the season because you talk about those bonus points, those strong finishes. I mean, basically Jeremiah Ellis is number one the entire way unless somebody wins the national and then comes back and wins the shootout.
Correct. Yeah. No, I
definitely gonna be tough to pass that dude. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and then you look at Ian Cripps. Ian chilling right now. Now all he has to focus on is to 21. He already has his max amount of points from the pro shootout. So you know what I mean? So for him, he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to, you know what I mean? So
because he can still drop his national finish, which I don't even know how he finished.
I can't, but only because they're weighted the same, right? So because he's already going to get the maximum amount of points from that, really even if he has a bad national performance, he's still going to gain back points on everyone that he did that much better than in the pro shootout. Does that make sense? Like he already has like one championship.
Half.
Like 7th or 8th in national singles. So if he wins a national, he'll be right back up there.
Correct. Yeah. It's just different. Like when we pulled up the rankings, I'm like, this can't be right. Like, like they have an update. I'm like, oh, it was updated 2 days ago. And that's when I messaged you, Wally. I'm like, dude, like this is weird.
Yeah. I mean, it almost forces you to have to perform on both avenues.
Well, I think one thing too is that we had the shootout separated. We made a big broadcast and everything for the shootout. And like a lot of the pros just weren't really buying into it. I'll go back to, I think it was South Dakota. And I think we had 8 ladies in the field for the shootout.
Yeah, they had to win one game to make TV.
Yeah, it was like, come on. Yeah, win one game, you make TV. And it's like, here we are giving away, what was it, $40,000 or something like that. And nobody's buying into it. It's kind of like, what else do we got to do? And I mean, again, I don't have any decision in this. So I don't know what the thought process was. But it's like, if you're not going to buy in, we're going to force you. Now you have to. I don't know.
Yeah. I'd be interested to know if this was like a player development, like committee kind of idea that they brought up, or like, if this was brought in, or if this was a, like from the top, like, no, this is kind of what we're doing from it. Like, I don't know. And it's
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I have no clue. I'm not on the pro committee this year.
Not this year,
but I know it. I know that pro committee voted on it.
Oh, did you guys?
But
the borough committee did. Okay, all right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
but I don't know if they came up with the idea or if the ACL passed it down to them and saw if they wanted to do that.
Well, it also changes
too. One
like,
thing I got to say that ACL is doing a pretty good job of this year is that they are heavily involving the pro committee to make a lot of the decisions going on in the league. So it's not like it's just the people in the office that aren't playing the sport. The pro committee has a huge role this year. So,
and I think that they have good leadership there. You know what I mean? Like, I think that they have some good people on there that are smart, you know what I mean, who have been around the game for a little bit. So I think it helps a little bit. For me, like it's hard too, because like we've had the luxury of like voting for like MVP and breakout player the last few years. We were basically told like you're not allowed to consider like pro shootouts and all that stuff. It was strictly nationals.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, like now we need to incorporate like this other stuff. Like I'm gonna have a hard time doing it because like I'm kind of like with everyone else. Like it's not the same. Like I don't really care about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think round limited stuff is fucking terrible. It's the worst TV ever. Because as soon as somebody goes up 6-0, well, this fucking game's over, and that's how everyone in the team's at least the first one. Second one, I fell asleep during it. It's because I was tired. It was because it was boring. All right, Steven, or who was it? Schermerhorn was giving me shit for falling asleep before like the last match. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, anyways, it doesn't just because someone shit the bed doesn't mean that it was an exciting match, anyways. But that's a different point. So I'm just interested to see how it's going to
assume they want you to vote again this year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we did, but I'm saying that's another thing to kind of consider. So I know after all this shit, we probably won't.
They're gonna be
well, listen. It's almost like there's no one else to like to like when they have media, like there's no one else. You know what I mean? Like everyone else that starts a podcast lasts like 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, Isley's on his like 8th
We have
different
half
one.
of ACL's
So-
media team on our podcast today. We just had CornDoug on too.
Yeah,
so.
we're good. Yeah, we're just covering all. We'll have Keck on in a few weeks.
Yep,
we'll be covering
we'll
like
just
we'll be
bring
good.
them, bring
We'll
them
be
all
good.
on.
There you go.
One of the other things we've been talking about recently that I think is interesting because you know we have a pro player and a guy that's been around the game now for a minute, and you're around the pros all the time. They have like this running list of like who has like the most ACL titles, right? Do you guys think that national titles and open titles should be added together to give you the final number, or do you think that there should be? I don't know. Is it two separate categories? What do you guys think on that?
National titles are clearly more important.
Yes. So do you think that like and I'm not taking a shot at anybody, but
Personally,
Matt Guy is at 20. He has not won 20 national championships. He's won not very many national championships, and he's won a bunch of opens. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Does that weight the same? I don't know.
I mean,
I think
know
it should
my
be
opinion.
counted towards your total wins, but not like I think the nationals and world championships should be counted different, like counted as majors. In the,
Correct.
Yeah,
I
should have
completely
your,
agree
Yeah,
with
you
you.
should have your national wins, your
'Cause
open
those-
wins. Like it can be separate. You don't have to lump them together.
Again, not to keep going back to golf, but
National
like
wins are the
nationals
only
are
thing that
majors. Nationals are majors. Like that's
Yes.
the only thing people really give a shit
Mhm.
about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's just
100%.
about what we talk about. I mean, we choose the narrative, and it's easier for us to lump them together whenever we're talking from our job as far as titles go. We could easily change the narrative of how we talk about it. You guys can do the same thing if you just take out the open titles and count national titles only.
we'd prefer
So,
to
I
just
mean, it's
complain
just-
about it.
Yeah,
We
well,
could
that's
choose
exactly.
to, choose to talk about DPR for the next 5 or 6 months, and you guys will be like, you know, why aren't they talking about PPR? PPR is a stat that
Listen,
it's whatever.
We
just
can't
brought
tell
up
everyone
about
our
it.
secret,
Yeah.
Wally. Okay, you can't. Like you can't.
We actually just
Stop.
spoke about DPR earlier in this episode
We did.
and how 2 Canadians are actually leading the
Yeah, I don't know if you guys
entire
noticed that.
field right now in singles and doubles in DPR.
That sounds
There's a
about
reason
right.
for it.
But
That
well,
makes
that's what we
sense.
were trying to. We
Reason
asked CornDoug, like, is that because they're their Canadian Open stuff and like their pro shootouts up there? Do those stats count towards pro? And it has to, because don't get me wrong, great player, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Connor Weiss is like 1.4 something in DPR. If he was doing that in doubles, he probably wins the first national, right? Like or a pro shootout. But that was not the case. Spoiler alert for anyone that wasn't paying attention. So.
My explanation of it is PPR tells everybody how good you are. DPR tells everybody how good your opponents are.
Yeah,
You need,
Pretty much.
You need them both to tell the story.
you do.
I don't know. I throw like an 8-5 every tournament, and I finish at the top a lot.
Yeah, so your 8.5 PPR tells me how good you are, and you play against us, you have a 2.6 DPR, tells you how good we are.
Go back and see the rounds thrown. It's like he's only thrown 8 rounds through 4 games.
Hunter, what was like? What did you? Is there anything that you attribute to like you? Because you were one of the guys that we voted on for Breakout Player of the Year last year. You went from being like this super talented dude that like you were kind of on everybody's radar. And I don't think like your first 2 seasons lived up probably to your expectations. But then last year you're kind of like, I don't know, something seemed like it clicked. Was that
Yeah.
like mental? Was it just an actual just reps kind of thing? Was it a comfortability? What do you attribute it to?
I think last season I wanted it more
Okay.
compared to the seasons before, so I definitely wanted to go out and throw more and practice more. And my mindset was a lot better going into games, just not taking myself out of it early.
Okay. Do you feel like cornhole is like kind of like a long-term like career solution for you? Like, is that like right now? I mean, obviously you're still such a young dude, but
It really just depends on how the ACL decides to run it.
okay.
Like if they keep it moving in a direction where it's going upward and viewership's going up and they're bringing in more sponsorship money every year, then I think it could definitely be a career path for a certain probably 20, 30 pros maybe, and hopefully more if it gets higher market cap and everything. But right now it's only capable of making a certain amount of people enough money to like actually live with. Like it's a good amount of money if you're living at home and just doing not much all day, but like to have a family and a house and everything, it's going to be pretty tough to do strictly off cornhole.
You brought up this concept that we've been asking a lot of people. Do you think let's put money aside of everything, right? So we know that there's 256 pros, there's pro fees, all that stuff. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about you mentioned like 23rd. Do you think that there's too many ACL pros? Like, do you think the pro division eventually should get smaller? Like, is there a need to have 256 or should it be like 100?
Personally, I think the pro division is too big.
Okay.
I think as you move down, like the talent drops off pretty heavily compared to the top like 30, 40, 50 guys.
Yeah, and I don't think you'd get any argument from anybody. Yeah. Because I mean,
So,
if we're like
know.
Wally, you can chime in on this too. Like when we're preparing like for these nationals, right? Like analyst stuff, we're trying to predict who's going to win. There's a very distinct line of who we're talking about and who we're not, or who we have to kind of force and make an effort to bring up. But there's like, I would agree, like there's probably like 30, 40 guys or girls going into a national that we think that like, hey, I have like a legit shot of winning this thing. Do you think that eventually, like, to me, I guess it would not surprise me eventually if we down the line, and I'm not saying it has to be like anytime soon, but if the pro division shrunk significantly in order to make it more possible for like, let's say 100 people instead of 256 to like actually do this full time for a living kind of thing.
Yeah. So I actually listened on the long drive, the podcasts for like the last 6 weeks. So I've been hearing this conversation. I've been kind of arguing with my radio on it.
Okay.
And I'm like, I think the answer is 256 pros. I like where it's at right now.
Okay.
I think it should be 232 pros at the end of the season.
Okay.
With a pro qualifier in January, where all the elite players basically battle out, get open points to figure out your standings. And then you basically go through the gauntlet in January to determine the remaining amount of pros. I think the women's division has to have a certain field. And basically, call it a money grab, call it whatever you want. This is my idea, not the ACL's, but take all the money raised for these people chasing their dream to become an ACL pro, because there's different types of pros, and I'll get into it in a second. But you take all that money and you pay it towards the top 50 pros, and the top 50 pros deserve to get paid like a professional sport. And if the lower tier pros are paying the top tier pros, then that's just the way it is. I think if I were to offer both of you a chance to become a pro right now, you'd probably take it just because it'd be kind of cool to say. But I mean, there's different types of pros. There's the top 50 that have a chance to win, and I think those people deserve to get paid. There's your Cinderella or underdog stories who, have an outside shot at winning, and it'd be an amazing story. For example, I'm going to put Ian Cripps in there.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody had Ian Cripps winning any type of pro event at the beginning of the season, and we all love to see it. And then there's the other pros that are just happy to be a pro. They've grinded for a year. They've grinded for 2 years. They want to see what it's all about. They're just
they kind
happy
of
to be
made
a part
it.
of the circuit.
Yeah, they checked that box.
Yeah. So I think we need it. So I'm fine with the field being at 256 if it brings the top 50 players a salary or, something that covers their travel fee. That way, whenever they go to these shootouts, they have to be there. And then if a sponsor wants to come in and buy it, if we get Seagram 7 shootouts and, there's $2 to $4 million thrown towards the, pro division and commentators, I'm all about it.
How smooth, baby. How smooth. I like that. No, I think that really the pro group is, and the pro bunch as a whole, like they have to kind of think like they do have some power in this. I mean, look at the PGA, man. Again, not to go back to golf again, but like there are some similarities with how this is all going. Some of their top players were just paid a shit ton of money from equity of money that just acquired. I feel like if the ACL did go that route and was started paying, and I'm not saying just hand out money to the top 50, I'm saying like increase prize pools to make those top 50 players earn it in respect of how they finish. Like I'm fine with that, but there needs to be some love going both ways, or else you're going to burn out some like very loyal indivials. And I think we're already seeing it, right? We're already seeing it.
Those sports have longevity. And the ACL is doing a great job of bringing people in to get it in place to get us to that point. The problem is it's not instant. It takes a long time to happen. And with us only having 4 or 5 months in the spotlight, it's easier for us to nitpick what we're doing wrong than it is what we're doing right, because I'm not even involved in those conversations. I'm one of the faces of the ACL. It's hard for me to explain to people that we're doing things right, but you look around the room like, who's that person? Who's that person? Who's that person? I mean, we brought in Alicia from the Major League Baseball, and she's making a whole lot of changes, and I think so far for the most part they're all for the good. So we keep going down this path. We'll get there eventually, but we we got to get a long haul. I think the other thing too, man, is like, I don't know if I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but all these other cornhole leagues that pop up or that are, competing, like if we just combine and we actually get the best 256 players in the world, dude, this sport could be amazing.
No, I agree, man.
Can you imagine cornhole in like an American League, National League format with like a real draft?
Yeah. I mean,
that'd be dope.
I still need to be sold on the teams format, especially if they're hell bent on the round limited stuff. But if it's not, no, I do think that there's an option for that.
I think that still comes back to money though. Whereas like if we had an unlimited pot to pull money from, and we were able to pay ESPN to do the teams format, but going to 21, I think all the players would buy into it. And then, like I said, these pros actually getting salaries and stuff, I think that'd be an entirely different thing.
No,
minor leagues might actually matter.
No one's arguing with you. Like, no one wants the ACL to be more successful than we do. I mean, clearly, like we've hitched our wagon. You know what I mean? Like we don't primarily cover the ACL for a reason because we believe in the product they're putting out. But at the same time, I think it's naive, like for us to like be in the position that we're at, and we have a large listener base. For us, I think we'd be doing everyone a disservice if we're not critical on things that, not even like just being critical, but like question like decisions that would be made. Like if everyone's no good company is ever surrounded by like just yes men. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work like that. But I've applauded publicly several times when the ACL listens to criticism, and then they've done a fantastic job of listening to outside opinions and then adapting and making things better. We can all say there's things that they've much improved on over like the last 5 seasons. Is every decision they make perfect? No, but what fucking sports league ever does it right? I mean, you can find mistakes that made still to this day in every major sports organization. So I think that they're going the right direction. Obviously, we're all impatient. We want things to happen. That's the society we live in now, right? We want this to blow up. But again, it starts at the grassroots. It hurt my heart when I saw the broadcast and I saw those seats fucking empty. Like that was when I finally sat back and thought about it. I'm like, the ACL made the right decision. Like they're selling, like they signed this fucking 2-year deal with ESPN. They need to turn this into a spectacle of where we're going to go. This is smart. Make them wait. We can pout all we want. It does give us more content. All right, I'm sold. Like wait 2 weeks. But I want a fucking crowd. Yeah. And like, and you had the opportunity to do it, and people shit all over Nate Voyer, and that's why I had him on the episode when he was going. No, listen, you can call it corny, over the top, but like he brought something to the broadcast when there was nobody there. There's nobody there.
I agree,
and like I feel like at a grassroots level, we need to do as a community. We need to back these broadcasts, or they're not. That's why whenever they're in town, we're there. You know what I mean? Like anytime we're at an event, we always
right
go
over at Jackson Gore during that team's broadcast. And like Jackson Gore was like almost caught off guard by what Nate was doing. And I said, take notes.
Yeah.
I said, that's how you create viral moments and you get my logo out there. I said, was it stupid? Was it corny? Did it probably piss some people off? Yeah, 100%. But I'll tell you right now, man, there's going to be more viral moments of Nate Voyer than there are going to be of Ian Cripps winning.
Yep.
And I know the pro division's torn on this, but it's like, dude, you get your sponsor some love, man. They'll throw that checkbook at you next season.
And I get if people thought, and he brought up a point where he didn't say who it was, but it was a younger pro player. He said that was arguing the point that like it made cornhole professionals look bad. I can see like if you take this very seriously and that's like your full-time job, like, and like you want to be seen as like a serious entity. I've been very outspoken. Like cornhole needs to get off like ESPN 8 to the Ocho. Like that's a joke fucking gimmick day that they do. We need to get off it. Like if we want to be seen serious, we can't do it. And that could kind of play into that role. But at the same time, like it's his duty. Like he's not paid by anyone else but his sponsors right now and whatever prize money he gets. Yeah. So he needs to do whatever he feels best for his sponsor's interest to get his name out. And he nailed it. He mentioned sponsor names. Everyone's going to remember those, the timeouts it took. I mean, I thought it was the right direction, I think. And it saved it a little bit. So.
Yeah, maybe a little over the top at the same time. Man, big moments like that. We look at Duncan Clemmer's airmail,
awesome
against Trey Birchfield.
Yes,
and then Matt Guy and Brett Guy. Those are moments that went viral because of the expression, because of the overselling in a way.
Yeah,
but I mean those were natural reactions. If you don't get that natural reaction, fake it a little bit.
Yeah,
you hit a big push shot for 2 when you're up by 17. Woo!
Yeah, dude. Like you want to Adam Hissner boom. You know what I mean? Like you want something. You want them to chirp a little bit. Like, listen, people can say what they want about Jordan Power, but
bye-bye.
Yeah, you love it. Just little things like that. They matter.
I mean, Hunter's got one of my favorite viral moments whenever him and Tubby Cobb had the awkward knuckles. I mean, that was my all-time favorite.
That one was bad.
It's all
It was
right.
real bad.
Dude, their awkward knuckles thing still cracks me up every time. Like, and now I find myself actively looking for it. Like, whenever people are doing it, I'm like, oh, there's one. And what if he's going to mention
100%. I have people bring it up to me every single open. And I didn't even create it. Wally did.
Aren't you the awkward knuckles guy? That's weird. So CornDoug, Wally wanted to know how much you loved 70s soft rock being played during a cornhole event.
It was great, man. It put me to sleep as soon as the tournament was over. I was done and ready to go. I mean, that's the other thing too, man. The ACL is finally putting music out there during these pro events in the background, even if they're getting ready for ESPN, CBS, whatever. It creates an entirely different environment. I got to, tip my cap to Scotty the Body. He's doing a pretty good job of supplying some beats. And even during the broadcast last week in the backyard.com zone, free sponsorship plug there, I guess. They were playing some pretty cool music throughout the entire time. So as long as we keep using good music, all about it. 70s slow elevator music. Now Canada's like 6 years behind, man, when it comes to.
Oh, six.
Six.
That was nice.
We
of
said
you.
70s.
That was good of you. Yeah, they must pay well.
I think they had one in there. I don't know, man. It was.
They haven't gotten
Ricky
AC/DC yet. All right, it's coming.
they're still getting there. What are we a fan of? Poutine.
It's okay. It's all right.
Poutine scabs.
Hunter, are you all about
It
it?
was all right. It wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like I have to go out of my way to get poutine, but it was definitely good and enjoyable.
All right, so what's your take? Like, what's a traditional poutine? Like, was there any pizzazz to the poutine you guys had, or was it just like standard gravy, cheese curds, fries?
Just gravy, cheese curds, and fries from what I had. And we had some meat on there.
I mean, I'm
I
still
don't
waiting for
remember
what
what it
sounds
was.
bad about that. So
No, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Bad. No, believe me, I'm all about poutine. Yeah, sometimes you can get it with like chip beef on it and stuff.
I think the only thing I can complain about it was like I had a plastic fork with mine. It's like it
it's gonna be
doesn't
tough to
sit on
eat.
the fork well. It's like I want one bite with everything, and like you almost had to like mold it and put it on there. I might as well just eat it with my hands.
So the way you do it is you bend the plate accordingly, and then you just use that plastic fork to shovel it in.
Oh, it's a shovel.
Yeah,
it's no
just
longer a fork.
shovel it in. Yeah, you just push it on in there.
Smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
Watch.
Hunter, I'm interested. How did you even start playing? Like, how did you get involved in all this?
So I started playing 7 years ago now.
Okay.
Long ass old.
So were you like 12?
With my dad in the backyard, and one of his buddies moved away, so they were missing one of the four. So they asked me to step in, and I guess I was throwing good with them. So me and my dad planned to play a cornhole tournament, and we happened to be 25 minutes from Spencer McKenzie's. So we played Spencer McKenzie's at our first ever cornhole tournament.
That's your first cornhole tournament with Spencer's?
Yeah.
no wonder you're
like
hooked.
that's I mean, like after that, like, is everything a letdown after that?
You'll like my first game even better.
Please.
Guess who my first game in a competitive tournament ever was against?
You gotta give me a hint.
See, 7 years ago,
It's like-
who would have been out at Spencer's?
They were the champions the year before.
Graham and Brooks.
Yep.
Oh, look at that! Damn, drop that. How about that?
Played them game one. I played Jamie actually pretty good, and my dad gave up 21 to Trevor. That was great. And
Throw Dad under the bus.
yeah, he didn't have a good one. And then Trevor told my dad, like, your kid's a good player. Like, y'all should go to Worlds in Philadelphia. So I went there and then won junior doubles with Tucker Stills.
Oh yeah.
And then that made me pro.
That's a name from the past.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, Tucker was he was a junior pro for a minute, wasn't he? Like 2 years maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Surprised
Yeah, I
Trevor.
think he went pro the year right after me.
Because he was on a broadcast, I know, a few times.
Yeah, he was. I'm surprised Trevor
Yeah,
didn't just
Tucker
tell you
played.
to lose your dad as a partner, though. He just goes up to your dad and be like, your son's pretty good. You're
You
holding
should
him
retire.
back.
Yeah. You should just retire, kind of thing.
Pretty much.
And
Hey, I love playing with my dad.
does he still travel a
solid.
bunch with you, like to most of the events?
Not really anymore. He used to travel with me at the start, but like once I started hanging out with Noah, Tony, and Trey, we all just kind of traveled together.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, he just want to feel like
Yeah.
You don't want to be like that guy. You know what I mean? Like that fifth wheel kind of thing. It gets weird.
I get it.
I get it. Listen, we're
So he just
dragging
stays
dragging
home.
our dad on a trip with us for the first time. We're going when we go to Phoenix this weekend. We're taking him, so we're very excited. So
Nice.
we Dane had to have sit him
Be
down and
awesome.
have the talk with him though.
Yeah, I had to tell him, you're not in college anymore. All right,
Like, don't try to keep up. You know what I mean?
What was that movie with Robert De Niro, The Bad Grandpa? Or whatever?
Exactly.
Correct.
Oh, man.
Just sit down. Like you'll make it through. Someone's got to drive us home at night. We'll be fine. Okay, so we'll be good. All right. So Dane, I've been. We gotta go. Tier talk, man.
Tier talk.
What did you come up with this week?
All right, so tier talk of this week, since we have a Cornhole pro here, we talk about cornhole all the time.
Okay.
It got me thinking about obscure sports out there.
Oh, all right.
All right, so besides cornhole, what obscure sport would you like to be a pro in?
Oh, tiering it.
Yeah, tiering it out.
That ping pong game where you use your head,
Oh yeah,
good
yeah.
one.
soccer ball.
Dude, that game's intense.
That's a game.
Yeah.
That's a game.
Have you seen is that the one that you can kick as well? Have you seen that one with like the curved?
You might be able to kick it. I have no
Yeah,
clue. I've only ever seen them use their heads.
You're talking about the curved
Yeah,
table?
the curved table one. Yeah, that
Yeah, the
game's
curved
insane.
table.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what it's
That game's
called.
very- Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
I like that.
Ping
Looks fun, though.
pong cur.
I think it's called curved ping pong with your head game.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
Curved ping pong table.
Yep.
With your head.
I know.
Feet.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Though.
Yeah. That's a good one. You got any more? We usually like tier it out like 3, 2, 1. Give an honorable mention or two.
Let's see. Maybe darts.
Ooh, that's
I
a
can
good
make
one.
a lot of money playing darts.
Dude, and their crowds are nuts. Like I love watching a good like darts championship when the fucking crowds is going nuts. You know what I mean? Like I thought I was a loser on a Friday night staying in to watch other people play cornhole, but the people that go to a darts competition, like that is wild.
It is
You know what
wild.
I mean?
It's like the crowd watching
I
a
wanted to
poker
be the-
tournament.
I wanted to be the MC for the broadcast. You also do double full burger. Dude, I'm telling
You could
You
definitely
could
pull
do
it
it.
off.
Darts is crazy.
You can definitely pull that off. Check out that shit. I'm trying to think of some other ones. All right, you want me to start?
I mean, I was seeing if Hunter maybe had one last one in there.
Yeah, Hunter's.
Let's go. I don't even know. Probably bowling.
Okay.
I feel like bowling would be fun.
I'm going to clip this and send it to everyone on Twitter because we are in a Twitter beef with the bowling community and have been for about 5 years. So I'm going to just clip this and just send it over there. So suck it.
I love it.
Yep. So, but we're friends with the curling community. So there's
Yeah,
that.
of course. Yes.
Okay.
They're the real ones.
I was
Yeah.
watching. I was watching the Olympic curling
Oh,
for
dude.
women, and me and Shamar Moore were watching that till like 4 a.m.
Just
one
name
night.
dropping, just like that, just all casual. It's all good.
We started watching, and then like 6 hours had passed, and we didn't stop watching. And I was just like, "All right, dude, one of us has to go to sleep."
All right. So,
See,
It was
I've watched
so
Shamar
fun.
Moore until 4 a.m. But that was on Criminal Minds.
okay. So, fun fact. So you watch curling, right, on the Olympics. So you know how like their first like 2 or 3 stones, like they have to throw short, right? Like as blockers, right? They can't like.
Yeah.
All right. So did you know once upon a
you
time
can't put it over
that was
there.
not always the case. They had to change the rules because a group got so good at just blasting every fucking thing out of the way, and they would just leave their last guy, and then he would just fucking dime it every time. They got so good at it, they had to like literally change the rules to do it. So one of the things we've actually brought up before, and you probably heard this, but I'm interested. What if you in the current game right now in cornhole, you couldn't put your first bag in the hole? If it went in the hole, it just didn't count.
The top 10 changes a lot.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. How fun would that be? I'm not saying you have to do it all
I
the
say a
time,
lot.
but like one major, like that'd be kind of fun to like
Exactly.
change it up a little bit like that. I
First
think it would
bag
be kind of
block
interesting.
tournament.
Yeah, just have one tournament a year for it.
Yeah.
Like I think it'd be kind of fun. Like that's kind of shit like I want to do it.
I think if you do that, Ethan Walker's probably the best player on the planet.
You
And
think
then it
so?
goes,
Is he the best
Tony,
dirty
Gavin.
bag? So is he the best dirty bag player right now? In your
100%.
opinion?
I mean, he beat the shit out of me twice at the national, and for a while I thought I was the best player at that
Okay.
game, and he waxed me. So
Okay.
if it's anyone, it's going to be Ethan.
Okay. No, okay. Even all right. So does he beat Tony Smith like throwing pro advantage like back in the day? Like that Tony
that's
Smith?
a whole different
Like this is
conversation.
pretty Tony Smith. We're talking about like cool kid Tony Smith when I mean he was not yet Tony Smith. Like when he was rolling the bag all the time. Is Ethan at that level?
Yeah, he's at that level or
Oh,
better.
that's correct. Okay.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Ethan's raw.
Hey, what was the tier talk question?
All right, so it's
I forget.
besides cornhole, what obscure sport would you like to be pro in?
Okay, so I'd be taking my skill level to pro caliber.
Yes. Theoretically.
Yeah, honorable mention for Flippy Cup.
Ooh.
That'd be kind
I like it.
make that a pro sport.
I think we
big
could.
fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 3, slippery stairs looks really, really fun. I want to try that at World at some point.
Is that like try to get to the top?
Yeah, but like the stairs are like really,
Yeah, you
really
just keep
old
sliding
up.
back down. Yeah,
I really enjoyed the breakdancing. I would love to be actually a professional breakdancer.
Ooh, there you go.
I
You
mean,
strike
it
me as
would
like a
get the-
professional
it would get
tag
the
guy.
ladies.
And then, I've been, I don't know, like this TikTok trend lately, the professional beatboxing.
Ooh,
Okay.
I love that.
That's
Look at you. Said
obscure
you
in
didn't like
itself.
music.
Yeah.
Look at you, like just
That's
all
his,
over
that's his segue into music.
it.
It's
Segue,
like,
for sure.
I don't like you people using instruments. My instrument's my mouth. And he just lays it down.
Kind of weird.
Do you have a sick beat for us?
If he just busted out something,
I was waiting
I was
for
about
it.
to fucking
I was like, he's
lose
been
it.
practicing.
That's why I said we're taking our skill level all the way up there.
Good shit. I like that. All
All
right.
right, Sean,
All
lay it on us.
So first, I was trying to think of like a good honorable mention, and like just give me like a foosball or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it just
Oh, yeah.
something just those typical bar games, whatever, pool, something like that.
Yeah.
Number 3 is kickball,
Yes.
like
Kickball's a
that
lot of
backyard game, like just great, love it. Number 2, bocce ball.
fun. Nice.
If you
Love
ever want to
bocce.
go down a rabbit hole and you go on like TikTok or YouTube and you type in like best bocce ball shots, it is fucking ridiculous
Dude,
what these dudes
So
do
our
with the ball. It's crazy, man. I love. And in Texas, me and I was partnered up with Brandon Thompson from Airwolf Athletics, and we were playing against 2 current bocce ball professional players, and these guys were good. Like, and I was on one that day, like just. And the guy was staying with me, and I finally look at Brandon. I'm like, "You need to play better. We're fucked. Like these guys are like, both of these guys are very good." And I'm like, "How long you guys playing?" Like, "Oh, 6 months. Like, we're actually professional bocce ball players, and we picked this up and thought it was fun." I'm like, "Oh, well,
Yeah,
fuck
no
me."
shit. Yeah.
Like, sweet. Like, you could have waited like another 6 months or so. But anyways,
I mean,
but yeah,
our
they're crazy
algorithms
fun.
are so crazy. We've gone over this before because I've been getting bocce ball videos and stuff, and
wild.
you know what I never realized was the loft shot,
Yeah,
dude. Like nuts when they just sit there and
Yep,
pull the
I'll tell
pin
you.
back and just
Dude,
shoot that ball.
dude,
It's
my algorithm's
I'll
so
tell you what's
just jacked up.
fun.
I'll have like bocce ball, but then I'll have like Special Olympics bocce ball, and it's just like not the same. It's just like,
I'll tell you
what's
what
wrong
was really
with me?
fun and then I forget. Well, I almost do your last one just in case.
Oh, you're good.
I got another one too after you're done. But we were in Australia. Connor Weiss and I, we ran what they call bowls out there. It's basically bocce ball.
Oh, really? Okay.
On the long turf. But one side of the ball is weighted. It's not a round ball. It's like oval in a way.
okay. Yeah.
And one side's weighted with different ridges, and you have to like basically throw it 15 feet to the right to plan the curve and then control the speed. It's like curling and bocce ball.
Dude, it sounds
Yeah.
something I would
Fun.
get addicted to
Absolutely
right away.
Yeah, that sounds like
100%.
fun.
I'm undefeated, so technically I have the best record of bowls in Australia.
Oh shit! Just brush off your shoulder real fast.
Okay.
Wow, like beat off
Ladies
the.
is pimps too.
the ladies
Go
are just flocking right now,
Go and
like,
brush
come
your
on.
shoulders off.
You'll make it. And my number 1 is it's still like I'm still kind of trying to work on like my wife to let me buy one and put it in my basement, a table shuffleboard. Like I would probably this podcast would probably not exist if that happened. Like Dane would just come over
Yeah,
and we'd just be,
we'd
playing
just
that
be
every
crushing
night.
beers
Yeah.
all the time. We'd go live doing that every time, and it would get very entertaining. 'cause
If you're
we
bored
get heated.
and you're looking to support the show, if you go to Patreon, we actually told that story about Dane's bachelor party, and now we had a party
Epic.
like about 45, 50 people watching me and Dane and 2 of our drunk buddies all battling on table shuffleboard because we were getting way too into it. and it was pretty entertaining. So
What felt like 4 hours was really probably only like 10 minutes, but
yeah,
it was our moment in the sun.
yeah, it was after like 14 hours straight of drinking, so we were still able to stand up and finish the game.
Yeah.
All right, all right, you're like an
I love
obscure
those
sports
basement
dude.
things.
What was that?
So I love those like basement type of games.
Dude, me
At a
too.
Party, you're just like, oh, we got next, we got dibs. So
Fuck yeah.
my number one would be ping pong. I'm already pretty decent at it, but there was a part where I was just running I do Cinco events de Mayo. We used to do it every year. I had a trophy and everything, which is basically backyard games to play, washers, cornhole, beer pong, darts. And then we just randomly do the fifth event, and you accumulate points. You get a random partner for each one. At the end, it's a whole thing. And we got so wasted to the point where I was like, I'm the best ping pong player here. I'll beat you with anything. Like, people were going around, they were picking up household items, and I was using that as my paddle. Got to the point where I was whooping people with a Little Debbie's box and just using that as a ping pong.
All right, so
paddle.
which Little Debbie's box though?
That is a critical
This
question.
one was the Nutty Bars.
Okay, yeah, all right, so a little thicker,
Respect.
like a little
Yeah.
more square.
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense, dude. I completely forgot about washers.
Yeah.
Like that's why we came with. That's why we even started playing
Yeah,
cornhole,
we had
because
to
the
stop
neighbors were
playing
getting
washers
too
'cause it was
annoyed
too
with the
loud.
noise, like at night. So we're like, oh, this should be a little quieter, like a thump instead of a ping.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't.
no, it wasn't. All right, Dane,
Still
let's hear yours.
All right, honorable mention. I might bastardize the pronunciation, but Jai-Alai. It's you ever seen they throw that like stone with the huge curved wooden thing on their arm?
Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
chuck it
yeah.
against the wall.
Okay.
I think that would be
That's tight.
dope.
Okay.
Like, it's a very scary game, one of the most
I thought you were talking about the
dangerous
thing where they
games.
put the club on only the one hand, they beat the shit out of each other.
I mean, that looks fun
All
too,
right,
but
right.
no, that's
fair enough.
weird to be professional in that. Number 3, I'm gonna go with ping pong as well. That was
Fair enough. Right, listen.
that was on there for sure. Then number 2, I gotta go wiffle ball.
Damn it, that's a
Been
good
seeing
one.
all the fun wiffle ball shit out there, man. I think it would.
Do you
be
follow any of their live stream
a
stuff,
blast.
Wally? Have you ever seen it before?
Yeah. Didn't
Mark Richards used to be a pro wiffle ball player.
Did he really? I did not know
See?
that.
No, I
Dude,
like
it looks
that.
so much fun. Like, yeah,
well, I don't think he said pro. I think he was highly competitive. I think he corrected us to.
Oh, I thought he was
Ooh.
a pro.
okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if there is. I mean,
I don't know if the even
He's a-
like the one
he's a
like the
pro in our
AWA.
heart.
Yeah, exactly. They consider themselves pros.
And then number 1 is the one sport. It's not huge here in the U.S. It's pretty big internationally, but for our sake, I'll call it obscure. It's the one sport I feel like I was built for, and that is handball. I have
yeah.
a cannon
Handball's
for an
handball.
arm and deceivingly athletic for a big man, and I think that sport was made for me. I just never found it.
Deceivingly.
Honestly, it's true though.
I know, I'm
It's
just
very
saying.
true. People never expect me to move the way I do. So like, it's yeah, you can hang all over me, but I'll still chuck that thing 90 miles an hour. It's no big deal. So that's
like
where I
That game is
stand.
brutal.
Yo,
It's
it's fun.
brutal, man.
It's one of my favorite games of the Olympics to watch.
Like I would love playing water polo, except you would think I'm buoyant. I'm not. I basically sink, and treading water is a bitch. So I'm good.
and you have a lucky fin, so like this.
That's true. Yeah, I just swim in circles. My left arm's shorter than the right, so like it just like Finding Nemo over here.
All right. So some listener questions. So, and Wally, I'm interested. Like, I don't know. You could probably answer this a little bit. John Mendoza wants to know: can you ask Wally if he can let us know what bags are being thrown on in each match? Like, I know once upon a time you used to do that. Like, you'd have the players come over, hold their bags under. I'm assuming it's kind of just a pain in the ass kind of thing, or you just know the bags well enough now you
Yeah.
can kind of tell.
No, I always used to do that because people paid me to do that. So we had a sponsored segment. So if anybody's interested in sponsoring that segment, I'll be happy to
John
bring it
Mendoza.
back.
I mean, if listen, man, if you're looking to
Give me
sponsor
that
a
much.
segment, and then he
It has
also
been offered to every bag manufacturer out there this year, but yes, it is a pain in the ass to do. But if you want that sponsor segment, just reach out to your favorite cornhole company and tell them to sponsor it. We'll make it happen.
I like that. And then he said also if a player is wearing a jersey with sponsors on it, maybe give them a shout out. Like that's where it gets like hairy. Like that's not your job to do their job
The
for.
player's job.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Like-
you're already doing
No,
interviews
that's
and stuff with
away
them.
from his sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. I do agree.
I mean,
with
Hunter,
that.
you can just like get a banner printed up, and each time it just pans over to you, just hold it up a little bit. then just put it back down before you
Yeah,
throw.
I'll just go walk up to the camera before the game, hold it up.
There you go. That's
Hey,
all you
listen,
gotta do.
that might work.
Shameless plugs.
Hunter, Adam wants to know. Adam wants to know what was your experience like on the high seas cornhole cruise that you and Tony went on? Would you recommend it? Would you do it again?
It was awesome. I definitely recommend it, and I'll be doing it again soon here.
Which one are you doing?
Started 25.
Okay, I think there's a chance that we might be doing that too.
I'm not sure where it's out of.
Because I think he was trying to plan on 2 different locations on going out of. I can't remember which one he was thinking. Which one was first? Which one was second?
One was New Jersey,
Yeah.
and then I think the other one was Miami.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
But I'm not totally sure.
Okay.
But I know the Texas one got canceled.
Oh no shit. Okay. Yeah, there is a chance that we might be doing it if I can get Dane over his fears of.
It's not fears, man. It's a rational.
It's definitely worth it.
It's just all right. So secret time. I've had a recurring dream my entire life. The one dream I remember, and it's me with my family, and the cruise ship goes down, and I'm like the only survivor.
Just don't bring your family.
I mean, he's coming with
You'll
me.
be all
That's
right.
what I said.
He's coming with me. So
Yeah, but like,
it's already
is
something
it the
my
whole
family.
family in the dream?
Again, it's yes and no. It's
maybe
because like my grandparents are in it, but they're gone. Like so, like you just I don't know. It's I feel like my fear is justified because of that one.
Fair enough.
Again, and I'm talking like this is back to like 5 years old. Like I've been having this dream my whole life. It's like feels like the ultimate premonition,
like a warning.
Exactly. So yeah,
I get it.
A little freaked out by a cruise. So if I do go on that, just don't mind me the first day as I'm sobbing in a corner, like trying to get over it. Every little creak, I'll be like, "We're all gonna die." And I go on boats all the time.
No,
it's just
exactly.
something about a cruise, like
I get it.
Just freaks me out.
I get it. Hey Wally, so James wants to know: will Canine After Dark be brought back in the future? It was hilarious at the Northeast Conference #2.
Yeah. So you guys know what Canine After Dark is?
I'm waiting to find out.
It's probably like when Dane's on the mic and Sean's not there.
So Canine After Dark is whenever we've been there for probably about a 10, 12-hour broadcast, and a few socials have been had. So at this point, you're not even tasting it anymore. You just keep on drinking it.
It's my favorite part of the day.
Sir, you're talking about noon.
Yeah. So then, yeah, some of the female players are eliminated from the tournament. They come over and hop on the microphone. It kind of started back with Ashley Irvin and Miranda Coy in Louisville, Kentucky. They have kind of sexy voices in a way. They hop on the microphone, and like all the guys in the chat, you can imagine, just go crazy. They start Facebook creeping them and sending out friend requests like crazy. And then Ashley Wickett did it in Triple Crown this last weekend. Ting Ting was out there. So if you guys know these girls, they get
I know Ashley.
Well, we met Ashley, I think, with you in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Kansas City. Yeah, so same thing there. So basically, we kind of just let loose and have some fun in the Northeast Conference. Man, they did not disappoint. One girl, I think her name was Jody, she looked at this other girl and said, if I win this, I'm going to kiss you. And she just basically threw the game-winning bag, turned around, just went and made out with her in the backstage. So it was chaos after that. Yeah. So
listen,
and then we had one streaker in Badgerland Bag Bra. I think it was the first cornhole streaker ever. So
wow. Yeah. I mean, just making history on K9. I mean,
the good news is, K9 After Dark in 3 weeks is going to be in full force because we'll be on Fremont Street in Vegas. So
it'll just be the whole broadcast.
If you want to see what happens on Fremont Street.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like they'll come up and act like they want to be on a show, then afterwards they'll be like, "That'll be $250, bitch." I mean, oh, you take that picture?
Dude, my lifelong goal
is $10 an hour to sit on my lap.
Stupid lifelong goals, but like one of my lifelong goals is to get like some high class escorts and have them come over and just play board games with them, like in the hotel. They'd be like, "Are we gonna do this or not?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's break out Parcheesi. We want to play. You ready?" Just disappoint.
That's great.
You'd have to live stream it though.
100%.
Bag Season Cornhole said, Wally Kassler, what advice can you give content creators out there trying to grow the game?
Tell a story. Doesn't really matter if it's a good story or a bad story. You could follow around a bad player and help them chase their first win. And that could be as equally as exciting as following around somebody like Jeremiah Ellis and seeing if they can, close out the national title. So no matter what it is, make sure you're telling a story somehow, whether it's one person or multiple people, just tie it all together and tell a story.
Yeah. And by the way, shout out to Cornhole. Cornhole season, they do killer content.
Yeah.
So if you're not following them yet,
I would love to collab and do something with him. I got some ideas.
Likewise. Yeah. I mean, he does some killer stuff. I've not had the luxury of meeting yet, but I've heard good things from several people that he's worked with. Dude. So yeah. Where is he out of? Is he Arizona?
I have no idea.
Man, I thought it was Florida.
Was it Florida? I might be wrong. I thought it might have been Arizona.
Where are the Caballeros from? Aren't you from where they're at?
They're from Florida.
Are they from Florida?
Yeah.
Maybe he just did a lot of stuff with them, and that's why I think he's from Florida.
Okay. You could be right, though.
From Texas.
Oh, is he from Texas?
I'm not sure, but he might be.
Okay.
I mean, he might be from Oklahoma.
If you're listening to this, reach out.
He could be from Ohio.
He could be from Ohio.
All right.
Shit.
Minnesota. All right. Let's not sell ourselves. Yeah.
Iowa. Shout out to Iowa.
Too.
All our fans out in Iowa.
Yeah.
Love them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It sucks that the Clash is the same weekend as the Big Asp Open.
Yes, that does. It does suck indeed.
What's the Big Asp Open? Oh, yeah. It's the Cornhole tournament.
Big Ass Open.
Yeah.
Hunter's my golf partner.
Yeah. Hey,
you boys coming out?
September 21st, first ever Top Golf Cornhole tournament. Team tournament, and then there's gonna be we're gonna have golf Friday, probably Sunday. There's gonna be blind draw shit every night, so through Cleveland Cornhole, so it's gonna be a whole weekend. So should be pretty good. So big opportunity. So we're hoping that it gets sold out. So if you're listening to this, sign up when registrations open in June, and we greatly appreciate it.
Heck yeah!
Hell yeah! Well, hey guys, thank you very much for joining. I know you guys got travel and all that shit coming up, so appreciate you guys carving out a little bit of time and hopping on. Hunter, been a big fan, man. But long time coming on for you to come on. So happy that you could finally make it on.
I really appreciate it.
Of course, man. So we're pulling for you.
Go get it done.
Show
the world that Dirty Bags can still do it.
Hunter's close, man.
No, I know, and that's why I think that last year. I think last year I thought you reminded me a lot of like a Devin Harbaugh, where like you have like all the talent in the world. You just had to kind of figure it out. You know what I mean? And like kind of figure out the game. And I think sometimes you take stupid shots, but everything I've been watching this year, you're playing smarter and you're extending games, which if anything, we watched, I think the best recent example is Hissner versus Ellis. That game was fucking dead to right, 19-6, right? Hissner could have folded, but he battled back and you can argue he probably should have won that match. You know what I mean? So if you keep extending it, I think you're going to keep climbing up. So you made a fan out of us, man. So keep rolling.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll do my best. For
sure. And Wally, obviously, man, you're pumping out amazing content every fucking week. So keep it up, dude.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm going to make a big push to try and grow the YouTube, the Instagram, and all that stuff because Facebook's just continuing to change. So appreciate all the support on Facebook and stuff, but we'll close out the season on Facebook and then build the website and YouTube. So
yeah, and give them a follow, man. Like
find out where to see all that.
Amen. Like, listen, for content creators, small business guys like that, like, listen, follow on every social media platform means the world to everybody. So it doesn't take any time, doesn't take any effort. You know what I mean? Just go give a like when you see the post, give a follow. You know what I mean? It means the world. So
100%.
For sure. For sure. All right. So we'll wrap this up. We'll have you guys hang on for just a few minutes. But as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but four baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.